closing in on sole possession of the Louisville single-season home run record. But it was the Cardinals' other superstar who had the big night last night. Zion Rose with a pair of big hits, and then showing off the cannon in left field with a key defensive play as Louisville looks for its first ACC sweep of the year against Clemson this afternoon. Series finale between Clemson and Louisville this afternoon in Louisville, Kentucky, as Clemson's trying to keep its slim postseason hopes alive. And we welcome you inside our broadcast booth here at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. With Gabby Sanchez, I'm Mike Farron. Well, it was a big win yesterday for Louisville. They picked up 6 points in the RPI. They needed that. Clemson's back wasn't against the wall yesterday. It certainly is now.
Yeah, you look at Louisville, kind of the same trajectory as last season, right? They didn't start off all that great, then got hot at the right time. Well, it got them to Omaha. For Clemson, they have to win. There is no, we can maybe lose this one. No, they have to win every single game from here on out to think about making it to the NCAA tournament.
6-14 in league coming into today. For Louisville, we highlighted the stars at the outset. They have two of the biggest in the country. Tank Davis is leading the nation, tied with Landon Harrison at ASU in homers, but Zion Rose is the other big star.
Yeah, Zion Rose. I mean, there's a reason why they call him the hit collector, and that's all he's been doing since he's been back. In only 21 starts, you look at where the OPS is. He's hitting over 400. He has been the guy, and also what he's been able to do defensively. Talk about Tank Davis, too. Home runs, yeah, leads to D1 baseball, but you know what he also does? He leads D1 baseball in RBIs with 76.
It's been a rough series for Clemson in dropping the first two, but the real bright spot has been their sophomore Nate Savoy, who's cracked a pair of home runs in this series.
Yeah, tell you what, when you look at Clemson, that one bright spot has been Nate Savoy. And it's not only this series, it's what he's been able to do all season long. He's been that guy in the middle of the lineup. Now they put him in the leadoff spot. They need him to continue doing what he's doing. They also need help throughout this lineup. They need to do also better defensively. They need to have one of those complete games here tonight.
Savoy, one of those names you need to know for the 2027 first-year player draft. Kason Murphy's going to make the start for Louisville, the left-hander. The sophomore from Missouri will take over on the mound. It's expected to be Colton Hartman giving Louisville the bulk of the innings today, so a couple of lefties against this Clemson lineup.
Yeah, with Kason Murray, probably what we're expecting is 1-2 innings from him. If he's able to get them through two, that's exactly what they're looking for. It's a curveball, fastball mix. The big key is going to be the not giving free passes, and we've seen whoever's giving up the free passes so far in this series has been getting hurt. So you've got to make the other team earn it by swinging the bat.
It's a beautiful afternoon here in Louisville. Just in the last hour, the clouds have burned away. Temperatures right now in the 60s, expected to climb into the mid-70s. Absolutely perfect baseball weather as we get ready to wrap this series. Louisville looking for their first series sweep of the year. Clemson trying to get win number 7. They're currently in last place in the ACC. Murphy winds in the first pitch of the ball game to Nate Savoy is a big breaking ball strike. It's 0-1. Now that's respect.
Well, what that is, too, is having a guy that you know is usually a bullpen guy. He's going to come in and say, yeah, I'm not going to just groove a fastball to Nate Savoy, who already has a couple home runs in this series.
Savoy in the air down the right field line, slicing and going out of play on top of the Shad Mason Hack Shack. Down the right field line, the hitting facility for the Louisville Cardinals. They count 0-2. Sophomore Murphy. Already with the Louisville fans getting behind him this afternoon. The 0-2. It's down and in.
He started him off with that big breaker. I feel like that's what he's going to try to put him away with right here.
The 1-2. Missed. You're right. He did go back to the breaking ball, but just couldn't get it to turn the corner.
Good pitch, though, especially after getting that fastball. You throw it in. You're going to try to get that outside corner. Just couldn't get it, but a very nice curveball.
The 2-2, he goes back to the breaking ball and leaves it high, and the count is now full. 3-2 the count to Savoy as he works a good at bat to start the game. It's rare to see a guy with this kind of power be at the top of the lineup, but Clemson trying to get their best hitters the most plate appearances, and Savoy draws a leadoff walk in the first. So a good start for the Clemson offense.
And this is what we talked about with Murphy on the mound. No free passes. Make them earn it. Let them swing the bat. And that's what you're wanting if you're Louisville right now. If you're Clemson, it's about being patient, waiting for your pitch, making sure that he's giving you something that you can drive. Yesterday they did a good job too, starting off the game, scored 3 runs really quickly. Weren't able to really do much the rest of the game. They did have another inning where they scored 3, but they need to keep that offense going.
Tristan McClatty gets a start in right field today. He played second, third, and right yesterday as he takes the first pitch inside, 1-0. Clemson's offense has been the big story this year for them. You think of them as a slugging team. They really have been more towards the bottom of the league in runs per game, as Roger Williams is going to make a very early visit here, the pitching coach for Louisville. I'm going to go out on a limb. You know, I don't like to guess what coaches are going to say very often. This is going to be like, why don't you attack the strike zone a little bit?
I think you know what this one's going to be. It's going to be, hey, we need you to come out here and fill up that strike zone with a bunch of strikes. Let's not try to nitpick the corner. Go right after these hitters.
And the hope is to get a couple of innings out of Murphy and then turn things over to Colton Hartman. Just trying to move Hartman into more of a bulk relief role.
There's a lot of teams that would do that. You would see big league teams do that where certain guys as a starter maybe aren't able to really get things going, but they're better coming out of the pen in that second inning, and all of a sudden now they're able to give you the 5 innings at that point. That's kind of what they're trying to do in this situation.
There are a whole bunch of guys already heading down towards the bullpen. You saw there TJ Schlageter and Ty Stark, a couple of key lefties for Louisville heading down to the pen. Now the conference over, 1-0 the count to McClatty. The throw to first, so the runner back. Clemson was in both of the games in this series so far, but defense has been an issue at times for Clemson. After 2 really strong weeks, they have committed 10 errors in this series. And it's surprising to see them in last place in the ACC. That certainly wasn't the expectation coming into the year. But the offense has been inconsistent. The pitching hasn't been quite as good in league play, and Eric Bakich's group, as a result, finds itself needing to win basically every league game from now to the end of the season to have a chance.
And it's crazy, too, because they had kind of gotten everything fixed up defensively. Coming in before this series, they had a 10-game stretch where their defense had like a .992 fielding percentage. So it looked like they got things back on track. And then all of a sudden, you come over to Louisville, you know that you have to win it. It's a must-win. I feel like maybe that pressure gets to the guys a little bit too much. Guys trying to do too much. Errors get caused, and then all of a sudden, that's why you're ending up losing these ball games.
The 2-2, bounced foul. A lot of breaking balls so far for Murphy. McClatty fought that off to stay alive. See McClatty wearing the football-style mask. He was hit in the face with a pitch in the Stanford series. And so he's had to wear protective gear both on the infield and at the plate since coming back. He hits a soft fly ball to right, and right there is Ben Slinker to make the catch for out number 1. Savoy back to first. That's another part of the Clemson story is injuries to the position players. Jaron Purify had been out since the Notre Dame series, came into the 4th inning yesterday in their game. He is not playing again today because he continues to deal with pain in the broken fingers that he has on his right hand. They hadn't had a single plate appearance from Colin Priest, their DH, coming into the year. So
another power guy for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the home run total's way down. You don't think of that with Clemson teams playing at DKS at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. It's one of the better hitting environments in the ACC. Now Luke Gaffney has started to turn it up power-wise. There you see Purify there. The 0-1. The inside corner is strike, and the count 0-2 to Gaffney. Gaffney's had a real nice series. Home run on Friday night. 5 hits, and couple of walks in his 9 plate appearances. The 0-2 upstairs. George Baker having to leap out of the crowd to get that one. 1-2.
It's just to set up the curveball. That's what that was right there. Fastball up. Just a little too high.
Well, now do you have to double up on the fastball?
No, I think you go straight to the curveball here. I don't think there's any messing around at this point.
The 1-2. Bouncer to the left side and through. Past Hahn into left field. A base hit for Gaffney. His big series continues.
Let's go, boys, let's go.
And the leading home run hitter for Clemson coming up with 2 aboard and 1 out here in the first. And Murphy's going to have to fight against Jacob Gerald. Gerald doing the catching with Savoy limited to DH right now by a sore back. 16 home runs. The captain, one of the captains on this team, swings and skies one to right. It's going to be a long run for Slanker, and he won't get there as it falls foul. So between 3 fielders. Count 0-1. Gerald is all kinds of strong.
Oh, yeah. We hear a lot of things, too, of the way that he takes care of his body as well. Stuff he even puts in his hair. Just every single thing to be able to prolong his baseball abilities. I mean, it's really cool when you hear all the things he's going through.
He is, I believe Eric Bakich called him the single best recovery athlete he has ever had. A strike in the inside quarter, it's 0-2. It's the, what is it, the anti-violet light glasses that he wears around the house.
The red light glasses, everything that you could possibly think that's going to keep you healthy. Yeah, he does it.
Checks on the breaking ball there, the count 1-2. Now the question is his hair care routine good enough for others to use? Not asking for a friend.
Not asking for me, that's for sure. I should have done that. I might still have a head of hair.
It's sky to left. Zion Rose towards the line will make the catch for out number 2. He washes his hair with egg yolks. I was looking for the note to find exactly what
I knew that it was something weird. Egg yolks. Only thing I can wonder is, does he keep the egg whites and just use the yolks so he makes his omelet and then he has his hair product as well? It's got to, right?
Waste not, want not. 2 outs for Jack Crichton. And the left fielder takes a ball high. 1-0, the senior from Michigan, who's been a key role player most of his Clemson career, has had a nice season as a regular. And a pretty good series. 3 hits overall, including a double last night. Takes high, count 2-0. Murphy has not been able to really control the counts in this inning, and yet with a good pitch or 2, he could get out of this frame without any damage. Clemson threatening in the top of the first. Crichton takes a strike, and the count 2-1. The 2-1 on the ground foul. Now the count 2-2 to Crichton. Clemson had opportunities in every inning last night. They scored, as Gabby mentioned, 3 in the first on a couple of home runs. They scored 3 more in the 7th, and that was it. As Louisville broke things open in the 8th. Big breaking ball misses, and the count is full, and now the runners will be on the move.
I like the fastball that he's able to command in. He already has done that once. I would like to see that pitch again.
Toss to second, and the runner back standing.
Right here, kid, let's go. Mason, let's go.
The runners go, the pitch way outside, and the bases are loaded. Second walk of the inning for Murphy.
And Murphy went right back to the curveball. He has been able to land that curveball for a strike. Just tried to overdo it on that one.
Let's go. One more, kid. One
Jason Fultz Jr., the freshman, Pennsylvania native, played at the P27 Baseball Academy. Has seen a lot of playing time in the second half as that one pops away for Baker, but not far enough for Savoy to score. It's 1-0. Fultz this season has had 9 at-bats with the bases loaded. He is 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts. Did not play last night in game 2 of the series, but with the lefty on the mound and expected to have a lot of left-handed pitching today, he gets the start at third. And had a good pass there. It's 1-1. It's not for a lack of effort in trying to figure out what the right mix is offensively for Clemson. They have tried just about everything.
Yeah, moving guys around, putting guys in different order, trying to do anything to spark something.
Jackson Moore got hot for a little while, the freshman. Now he's been out of the lineup. They had Ty Daly in right field, who was first-team All-SoCon selection at Mercer a couple of times. A big home run hitter there, but he has really struggled. So they have gone to just about everybody. Heck, Talon Bell, who was projected to be one of their weekend starters this year, starting in center field today.
Of your Fultz, you got to look fastball here.
He was, and
boy.
he was just a little quick on it. And the count is full.
I like it, though. 3-1 count. If you're going to get and you're going to be swinging, be ready for it. Fair foul down that left field line. Good swing, good pass. Got to come right back at you again with that fastball.
The 3-2 with the runners moving, and that popped up. First base side, Davis into foul ground. He's got it, and the inning is over. Kason Murphy pitches out of a bases-loaded jam in the first. We into the bottom of the first. Clemson, nothing. Louisville coming to bat. No score as we head to the bottom of the first. Here's a look at Louisville's powerful lineup. You see what they've done with 2 outs in this series. They've had so many big hits. As they've won the first 2 and looking for a sweepable within a game of 500. Lucas Moore will get things started. And he will face Dane Moeller, who makes the start today. The right-hander who is coming off Tommy John surgery. He's going to be limited to about 35 pitches. The freshman from Marietta, Georgia. If Georgia and Moeller sounds familiar, well, he is the son of former big league pitcher Brian Moeller. Played 14 years in the big leagues. Currently a scout for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And you talked about it too, Moeller. Eric Bakich did tell us we might be able to push him to 40 pitches, but really it's going to be 35. So for me, that's 1, maybe 2 innings. They're not going to want to push him all that much. for Moeller, it's a good fastball. He has a cutter changeup. That fastball, he'll sink it.
Lucas Moore, the speedster, rolls one to second, and Bryce Clavon, who started the first 2 games in center field, will throw him out. Leadoff man gone in the Louisville first. And it brings up Zion Rose, who had a couple of big base hits last night. Rose, the junior captain of this team, takes a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1.
Let's go, Z, let's go.
Rose, 2 big RBI base hits last night and a key defensive play, gunning down a runner trying to stretch a single into a double. Takes another strike. It's 0-2. Already having conversations with Matthew Schaefer behind the plate. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Boy, Moeller making quick work of Rose. 2 outs.
I'll tell you that, Moeller going out there just spotting up too. Has a good fastball working down in the zone. Has the big breaker as well. He is looking really good on the mound right now.
He was a very highly touted recruit, and it's good to see him working his way back as he faces Tank Davis, who swings and misses at a first pitch changeup.
That's a good changeup too. Good arm action to it. The fastball about 89, 90 miles an hour. That changeup 85, 86.
The 0-1 to Davis, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Davis tied for the all-time single-season home run record at Louisville. He did that in his first at-bat on Friday night on a hanging changeup from Aiden Kanak. 25 home runs, tied for the national lead, leads in RBIs. And he fights it off to stay alive. Davis, the son of former number 2 overall draft pick Ben Davis.
Go get him, Tay. Go get him. Let's go, kid.
Former Padres catcher, and now Phillies broadcaster. And Davis down on strikes, and Dane Moeller, a 9-pitch dominant first inning for Clemson. We go to the second, no score. No score, top of the second inning. Clemson and Louisville in the finale of this 3-game series. Clemson looking for their first, trying to win the finale of this series. Louisville looking for their first conference sweep of the year. Kason Murphy back to work against the shortstop Tyler Lichtenberger, and he misses inside. It's 1-0. Clemson loaded the bases in the first but couldn't score.
That's something, too, that we have seen with Clemson. They need that big hit, and they haven't really gotten it in this series. You have bases loaded. You have a pitcher on the ropes. You've got to be able to come through.
Murphy into the wind and the 2-0. Bouncer to the right side, past the diving Davis into right field for a base hit. Leadoff single for Lichtenberger here in the top of the second. We'll bring up Bryce Clavon. Jay, thank you. No score as we play the top of the second inning. Clemson and Louisville this afternoon. Louisville, the ACC's representative at Omaha a season ago, has had a slow start to their year, but they've won the first two in this series, while Clemson finds themselves in an unusual position in last place in the ACC with 10 conference games remaining. Gabby, you came into this weekend when the schedule came out thinking that this was going to be a big series between two potential Omaha contenders. Instead, they're both fighting for their playoff lives, and things are going better for Louisville at the moment.
Yeah, right now you kind of look at what Louisville was able to do last season. It's kind of what they're doing this season. They didn't start off all that great. Then all of a sudden they got hot at the exact right time, and that got them into Omaha. For Clemson, they can't lose a game. Really, that's what it comes down to. They need to win the next 10 games that they're playing to at least put them in a position to be able to make it to the NCAA tournament.
Eric Bakich's team trying to change the mojo, wearing their Army camouflage-style uniforms today for the first time this season. And Bryce Clavon, who was a late addition to the lineup, lines that one foul. They count 2-2.
It was funny, too, because when we talked to Bakich about the jersey, he goes, well, let's see what happens if we win today. We might be wearing this jersey every single game to see if we can change that in the ACC standings and move us on up.
Yeah. Currently, there are 8 teams of the ACC projected by D1Baseball.com to make it into the NCAA tournament. Clemson was on the list of 4 to watch. Louisville was out in large part because their metrics have not been good. But Louisville has made a charge this week with a midweek win over Kentucky and winning 2 games against Clemson in this series. And their RPI has improved, albeit not into at-large range. And we'll talk more about that and some of the other metrics as we go along here. But right now, the goal for both of these teams is just win today's game. Kason Murphy has really struggled with his command so far. He's already walked 2 as he pitched out of a bases-loaded jam in the first. Clavon stays alive in a painful way.
And you talk about winning just today. We got to take a tour of the Louisville, their clubhouse where they eat, all their area. And on the bulletin board, what did we see? 1-0. Yeah. And that was it. You're just worried about yesterday, what we're doing today. We're 1-0 starting today. And don't worry about what happened in the rest of the season. You've got to just win today's game.
3-2 again from Kason Murphy, line fouled on the left field line. Murphy not expected to be in this game particularly long. They were hoping to get 1, 2, if things really went right, 3 innings from him before turning things over to Colton Hartman. And Hartman, one of the 2 lefties getting loose in the bullpen. He's number 15, TJ Schlageter, is in the foreground. Another throw over to first and runner back. I think that's more Schlageter would finish an inning. Right. Hartman would come in to start a frame clean.
I would be very surprised if they're bringing Hartman in with guys on base. I would think that Schlageter would be the one to come in, see if he can finish the inning off.
9th pitch of the at-bat, and he's got a man picked off. Davis's throw to second in time to get him. We've seen that a couple of times in this series with Clemson base runners getting picked off, and a good move from Murphy there, 3-2.
It's one of the things that Bakich was talking about hurting themselves. Well, this is another one of hurting themselves. He's going to go first move. You're taking a chance in this situation, going first move, and Murphy just did the right thing. Picks over. Take Davis does a nice job getting that ball and getting over to second.
Clavon is short. Alisea has to hurry to get the speedy second baseman 2 outs. No score, and the number 9 hitter will be Talon Bell. For Clemson, see Alisea, one of the emotional heartbeats of this Louisville team. There's Bell, the sophomore draft eligible, now officially a two-way player. He was a big two-way star in high school in Oviedo, Florida, as he takes the ball outside. He came to Clemson, had Tommy John surgery, was a pitcher, and was expected to be in the weekend rotation this year. He has not had a ton of success out of the bullpen, but as they've looked for offense, Bell has started to get an opportunity and hit his first career home run on Friday night. And he gets hit by a pitch. Reaches. Here's Bell's first collegiate home run. Had his first 2 hits the other night. Look at that, the other way.
Yeah, going opposite field, letting that ball travel. He hit that ball a ton. There's power in that bat.
Bell's aboard with 2 outs, and now Nate Savoy, who walked to lead off the game. Savoy has had a pair of home runs in this series. The transfer from Loyola Marymount. He's a freshman All-American. First pitch, and he rips one into left field, a base hit. Bell will stop at second as Rose tosses it back in, and Clemson trying to mount a 2-out threat. They've had a lot of base runners already, Gabby. They've had 6 reach safely, and McClatty coming up will be the 11th hitter of the game. They still have not scored.
Again, they've been able to get the guys on. They just haven't been able to really get them in. They need that big hit. They're at the top of the lineup. They're exactly where they want to be. Albeit there is 2 outs, but still, they have the right guys coming up to see if they can put some runs on the board.
First pitch to Tristan McClatty, skied in the air to right. There's Ben Slaker coming in. He will make the catch. And the inning is over. Murphy leaves a pair through 1.5. Clemson to Louisville are scoreless. It was a very efficient first inning for Dane Moeller, the freshman right-hander. With just 9 pitches needed and a pair of strikeouts to get through the first. You see the numbers for Moeller this season, just 9 innings thrown. He has a limit of about 35 pitches coming off Tommy John surgery, but it's impressive stuff and an impressive baseball pedigree as the son of former big league starter Brian Moeller.
And right now, I think Eric Bakich is asking around, hey, can he pitch a little bit more than 35 to 40 pitches after what he did in that first inning? Because, boy, he looked good.
Byram Hott, the cleanup man for Louisville, fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1. It'll be Byram Hott, followed by Jimmy Nugent and Ben Slanker. 3 transfers here in the middle of the order for Louisville. Hott was part of the Omaha team a season ago as a utility man. Played some second base, some third base, lost the second base job to Kamayu Neighbors, but came back for his senior year and has had a very, very good season. Transferred in from Marist a year ago. The 1-1. Hott Gets jammed and fouls it back. Not afraid to bring that fastball in on the hands.
Muller's looking really good on the mound. I mean, the fastball command, too, both sides of the plate. He works east to west. He's got a really fantastic changeup with a lot of action to it. Against righties, he does like to throw that big breaker.
Spots that fastball and just missed the corner to it, too.
That's the way to come right back.
That's the sinker. Backdoor sinker just missed by nothing. It really was a really good pitch. 2 strikes.
Called strike 3. Bottom of the zone. Hott didn't like the call, but it's the 3rd strikeout already for Moeller.
I believe this is the changeup that he throws. It's got a lot of action to it. It's a circle change, the way that he throws it, arm speed coming through, about a 7-mile-an-hour difference between that fastball changeup mix. It has been very effective here today.
Jimmy Nugent bats, a transfer from Lincoln Trail Community College. He is the DH today. Griffin Crane out of the lineup because of a shin issue. And Nugent clubs one to center field. Going back on it, Bell. He's to the track. It's gone. Second day in a row, Jimmy Nugent delivers a solo homer, and Louisville has the lead 1-0 in the second. Gabby, you said to me before the game, you know what? I really like that Jimmy Nugent swing.
I mean, that's why I really like it. There's a lot of power in that bat. The exit velo on that bad boy, 108 miles an hour, caught up to the fastball. Being aggressive early, waiting for your pitch, getting it, and not missing it.
Ben Slanker takes a strike. It's 0-1. Slanker starting in right field today, transfer from Ohio University. Tapper foul. Let's look back at the Nugent homer.
Hey, he gets the fastball. It's just left up. Every one of the other fastballs that Muller's been throwing has been down in the zone. That one got elevated. That's what you got to do. You got to try to look him up. Boy, he did not miss that one at all.
Slanker on the ground to first. Gaffney behind the bag has it for out number 2.
Let's go, King. Let's go.
That ball was annihilated. Here's Dean Muller's reaction.
Yep. He knew it right away. Give me a ball. Let's go. On to the next.
Jump on the heater, King. Jump
2 outs for Cade Elam, the freshman for Louisville, who has had a very, very impressive first season. Last night, it was less about the bat and more about the glove. He made 2 sensational defensive plays.
2 plays that, boy, are not easy to make, and he made them look easy.
Sends that one to right center. Bell over. He will make the catch, and the inning is over. Louisville gets the lead on the solo home run from Jimmy Nugent. The DH delivers.
Oh, and Jimmy Nugent, he got it all. Elevated fastball, stayed on it, crushed it to give Louisville a 1-0 lead.
Park here at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville. The Shaggy Dog here. Has nothing to do with my haircut. TJ Schlageter is in. The Joliet Catholic product, who has had a down season after being a very important reliever for Louisville a season ago.
And again, for Louisville, too, we've seen guys coming in out of the bullpen. The walks have been the big issue for TJ Schlageter. Same exact thing. The walks are going to be his key. He has to be able to throw that ball over the plate. Got to be able to let the other team swing the bat. No free passes.
Schlageter's first appearance in nearly 2 weeks. His last outing was against Western Kentucky on April 14th. On a scoreless frame, he's given up just 1 run in his last 3 outings total. All against in-state rivals, Western Kentucky, University of Kentucky, and Eastern Kentucky. So moving outside the state here. Luke Gaffney lines the first one, and a leaping attempt by Alisea, and he won't have a play at first. The shortstop just could not hold on, and the leadoff man aboard again for Clemson.
Oh, you know what, too? He had a second chance on it as he jumped to make this play. I didn't think he was going to be able to get up there, but he just showed his hops to be able to jump like he did, ball off the tip. It falls, he picks up, but he just can't get grip of that baseball and can't make the throw over to first.
111 miles off an hour off the bat, and here's Gerald. Gerald flied to left. A couple of men on in the first. Leading home run hitter for Clemson takes a ball outside. Count 1-0.
That's three straight innings that Clemson is able to get their leadoff runner on. Haven't been able to get anybody in at this point.
They've left 5 already, and they've also had another man picked off. Count 2-0 to Gerald, and this already a dangerous pitch here coming to a man with the most power in the lineup for Clemson.
Right now, you got to be looking for a straight heater. If you're Jacob Gerald, you're going to look to try to catch it out in front. And it's not going to be a soft swing that's coming out of Gerald's bat. He's going to be swinging hard.
Takes the 2-0 low. The count 3-0 to the cleanup man in the lineup for Clemson.
And I'm letting him swing. I'm not taking the bat out of his hand. I'm telling him, hey, if it's your pitch, your zone, you're looking for it, you lead our team in home runs, go out there, see if you can get another one.
He takes outside, ball 4. The first 2 have reached for Clemson in the third. That's already 3 walks for Louisville pitching and a hit batter. They're giving Clemson a lot of opportunities early in this game to try and take control of it. Now, can they? Here's Jack Crichton, who walked his first trip.
And with the way that Clemson's playing, their back is against the wall. They need to get a win here. I'm thinking you're going to put a bunt down. You got to get those runners over. You're looking to bunt this ball to third base.
First pitch, he's not bunting. He takes a strike at the knees. The count 0-1. Louisville certainly thinking the way that you are, Gabby, is the infield pinched in at the corners. You get a look at it. You see Davis at first and Hott at third.
Hey, interesting decision. Back at just saying, you know what, we're not going to bunt. We're going to go on and let you swing it. See if we can put up more than one.
He takes low, the count 1-1. Well, they've had so many base runners already and so many free passes that they've drawn. Do you really want to try and help get them off the hook?
Right,
with an out?
And I think that's probably the thought process of having trouble throwing strikes. Let's not just give it out, make him throw, see if he can throw 3 strikes before he walks you.
The 1-1. Liner down the left field line and foul. Out in front on that off-speed offering, the count 1-2.
Now, I like the thought process of bunt him over. Let's at least get something across. We've had 2 innings with guys on. We haven't been able to score. Let's get those guys moving. Let's get the order. Let's put a little bit of pressure on that Louisville defense as well.
The other part, though, is that Clemson's offense has scuffled enough that do you want to try and play for the big inning? Because that's what they did have last night. They had 2 big innings.
Yep.
It wasn't enough. And so I think this is, as you can see, like, look what they've done. They've left 16 runners for the first 2 games of this series. Like, I get it. You need a hit to cash it in, and it certainly makes it easier. The man at third, 1 out. But the 2-2. Breaking ball on the ground to third. That could be two. Hot to second for one. On to first. Elam turns it. And that, if you don't get the bunt down,
It's not what you want to do.
will lead your partner to look at you and say, nanny, nanny, boo-boo.
And that's kind of what you're playing with if you are Clemson in these kind of situations. First and second, you put the bunt down, you try to stay out of the double play. It's not ideal what you're looking for. I can understand what Eric Bakich is what he's doing as well, right? Like, we haven't been getting those big hits anyways. Crichton is a guy that's been playing all year. He's been swinging the bat. Like, let him, swing it and not take the bat out of his hand.
Fultz dumps that one into right field, and it'll get down for a base hit, and Clemson will score as Gaffney comes across the plate on the bloop single from the freshman Fultz, and we're tied at 1. Well, there's a big two-out hit.
That's a huge two-out hit, especially what's been going on in this ballgame so far for Clemson. This is a pitch off the plate, away, was a fastball, and he's able to stay on it just enough to dump it in right field. But that right there, it's a lot of pressure on these Clemson hitters, especially these last couple of games, where once you get that big two-out hit, kind of everybody goes, oh, okay, somebody finally got it. Now let's keep it rolling. Let's get the next guy up.
Tyler Lichtenberger transferred in from App State this year, where he was the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year a season ago. Played a solid shortstop for the Tigers. There's a strike. The count 1-1. I really feel like he is their best defensive infielder. I mean, maybe it's easy to say that the shortstop is, but I think it's been by a pretty wide margin this year, especially with the revolving door they've had at second and third.
And that's been the biggest problem. You have guys playing out of position at second and at third. Lichtenberger is really the only guy that's playing the position that he knows how to play.
2-1 the count.
I mean, for the Clemson side, we've seen McClatty play third, play second, play center, play right. That revolving door, Clavon has been playing second. Then he went to center. Now he's back to second. Like, they have guys playing in positions. They're just not comfortable at those positions right now.
Foul back, 2-2. And another big key for them is that they have been without one of their captains in Jaron Purify for a while. Now, he played last night coming off the bench. You see him in the orange there working on his nails. He's had a couple of broken fingers on his right hand, and it affected him throwing. It was clearly affecting him at the plate last night. He's not available today. They are desperate to get him back, and he's desperate to get back to help this Clemson team. Instead of the 2-2, a toss to first.
And just him being back, him playing, will all of a sudden solidify that infield a lot more. Because then you will have a guy playing second base who is very good out there defensively. He had his struggles yesterday, but a lot of that had to do with that hand injury where he couldn't even grip the baseball.
Called strike 3. Schlageter paints at the bottom of the zone. Lichtenberger down on strikes, and the inning is over. Clemson ties the game on the Fultz single through 2.5. Clemson to Louisville tied at 1. We've been covered in Charlotte for the ACC Men's Lacrosse Championship semifinals. Games Friday at 5 and 8 Eastern. Coverage begins with all ACC pregame at 4:30. I would say that youngster right there.
That pup is
digs
smart,
it.
too.
Yeah.
He went right into the shade. My dog would try to be eating every single nacho that's out there.
Now, there we
Oh,
go.
That's a good boy.
Is that Dan McDonald's dog? I think that it is. What's his name? I can't remember now. He came and met us on the field last year. It is Bark at the Park tonight. Well, that's Dan's wife and his dog. Head coach at Louisville. First pitch swing and a miss by George Baker, the catcher today for the Louisville Cardinals. 1-1 the score. I'm a big fan of Bark at the Park. I've long thought that the sport was going to the dogs.
We're both big fans of Bark
We
at the
are.
Park.
Yeah, we are. We are dog people. It's nice to have somebody who's happy to see you at home. Outside, you got one and two. Baker has been catching Wyatt Danielewicz for the most part this year, but getting the start today. And Griffin Crane out of the starting lineup, but available for Louisville. He's been banged up with a lower leg issue that's kept him out of the lineup the last 2 games, but he is available off the bench. But Baker getting a start behind the plate, put Jimmy Nugent in the DH spot. Nugent's solo homer accounting for the lone Louisville run. The 2-2 and the count goes full. Baker did a nice job along with Colin Mowry filling in last year. Matt Klein missed a month with a broken hand. The 3-2, and he takes ball 4 inside and draws a leadoff walk to start the Louisville third.
Well, we're trying to go right back to that changeup on 3-2, just a little bit too far out in front. Ball dips down, ball out of hand. Tell you what, though, he's been absolutely fantastic. They were not thinking that he would be getting into the third inning, especially with having that 35 pitch count. They were probably thinking if he's able to get us 2 innings, that would be great. He's already pitching into the third.
And still no action as of yet in the Clemson pen. Alex Alisea squares to Bunton, bunts it over the screen. The number 9 hitter from Milwaukee. He is a total Dan McDonald kind of player. It is all toughness and speed and just a real team leader. He squares the bunt again, and he drags it up along first. Gerald calls for it. He fires and throws it away. Baker on his way to third. He's going to be waved home. Nobody's gotten to the ball yet. Now they're saying it's out of play, and they're going to send the runners back to second and third. Gerald called for that right away, Gabby, and
he just
airmailed it.
Yeah. I mean, everything was right there. Gaffney was in the right place. He was on that inside part of the bag, and he just airmailed that one. And these are those things that we've been talking about with Clemson about kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Already in the first 2 games, 10 errors. Here's another one here, and this is a play where you're thinking he's going to be easily able to make Gerald the captain on that field and just airmails it.
The ball went out of play, and so the runners are being placed at second and third. Dan McDonald is out talking to our home plate umpire, Matthew Schaefer, about that. I don't think Mac was thrilled with the answer that he got, but
I think what Mac was trying to say was it should be a 2-base error, and our guy was already at second base, so shouldn't he then get, home? But that's not what the rule is.
so second and third, nobody out for the top of the Louisville lineup with Lucas Moore. It's a single and a throwing error on the catcher. It puts 2 in scoring position for Moore. Third baseman creeping in. First pitch to the speedster, outside of ball, 1-0. We have not spent a lot of time talking about Moore, but he is closing in on 100 stolen bases for his career. The Louisville record is 112 by Boomer Whiting. He takes it inside to count 2-0. Moore is one of the fastest and most efficient base stealers in the nation. And the guy that he grew up looking up to is Enrique Bradfield Jr., the former Vanderbilt center fielder who was a terrific base runner there, too, before being drafted in the first round by the Orioles. And now Moore's ahead in the count here, 3-0.
Let's go, Clutch. You got this. Let's go.
He takes a strike. And the count 3-1 to Moore. It's George Baker getting his lead at third. Dane Mueller trying to work out of his first jam of the day. In the dirt. Ball 4, and the bases are now loaded for Zion Rose. And this will be interesting for Eric Bakich because Mueller's right at his pitch count, and it does look like he's got the lefty. Brendan Bennett is loose in the pen, and not the situation that they want to bring Bennett into. He's got plenty of good stuff, but bases loaded. Nobody out here in the third, and with Mueller on a strict 35-pitch limit, this would seem like it's going to be it. It is. So Clemson is going to go to the bullpen for the first time today, and our first real key moment of this game as Bennett comes in. Bases loaded, nobody out, last of the third. Louisville and Clemson tied at 1. Redshirt freshman Brendan Bennett is inherited a bases loaded, nobody out jam in the third, but he has been really Clemson's best reliever this year.
There's a reason why Bakich is going to bring him in this type of situation, even against a guy like Zion Rose, and have that lefty-righty matchup. It's because Brendan Bennett has been good. Guys are only hitting 182 against him. He's not a guy that really walks anybody, only 8 walks on the season in 15 2/3. It's a good slider fastball. He has a curveball mix. That fastball anywhere from 92 to 95 miles an hour. A lot of sliders though, so that's what I think if you right now are Zion Rose going up there, you got to understand, you're going to get a ton of sliders, but you will get into that fastball that he will command to the inside part of the plate.
See Zion Rose, since coming back from his second injury of the year, he missed non-conference with an ankle issue and a hamstring injury that he suffered in the UNC series, but it's a 10-game hitting streak now. And he's hit 3 homers and knocked in 13. For his career at Louisville with the bases loaded, he is 9 for 15. Bases loaded, nobody out, the first real key moment in this game. And he swings and misses at the first pitch. He was looking for his first career grand slam. It's 0-1. Rose, 2 hits and 2 knocked in last night. The 0-1. Down low, 1-1. I don't know that there is any hitter in the ACC that I would fear more in this situation than Zion Rose.
Look, when your nickname is the hit collector, yeah, I would agree with you on that one.
The 1-1. Takes low, 2-1, but I think that's what those last two pitches are what separate Rose from other guys who just make a lot of contact, Gabby.
Yep.
It's that his idea of the strike zone is so good.
Not only that, you saw in the first pitch, got the breaking ball. He was looking for it, was aggressive to it. What did he do the next ones? I'm going to spit on those breaking balls.
2-1. Inside, and it hit him. And Louisville will take the lead as Rose hit on the right foot. Tried to go back foot on that breaking ball, and he did literally. 2-1 Louisville, and now here comes the leading home run hitter in the nation, Tague Davis. Davis 0 for 1 today. And Rose getting looked at a little bit down at first base. The trainer going to come out and take a quick look.
And here's the thing, too, with Tague Davis. Not only is he a power guy, as Zion is getting looked at over at first base after getting hit with the slider. This guy, definitely a guy you don't want to miss. But how about these numbers? Tague Davis, righty, lefty split. Actually hitting better against left-handed pitcher in 435. The OPS almost 1,500. It doesn't matter who's on the mound for him. He has been able to have damage against both.
But as Rose is okay, that batting average is almost 100 points higher at the beginning of this series at Clemson. So their lefties have done a good job here. Louisville has the lead. First pitch to Davis. He takes a high strike. It's 0-1.
And numbers with the bases loaded this year. Davis, he's hitting 700. He's 7 for 10.
Nobody has homered more than him in the country. Nobody has knocked in more runs. The 0-1. 0-2. Getting a little over anxious in that spot.
It's the thing, too, that Clemson has done well against him in this series, especially the lefties, has been the breaking ball fastball mix on the outside corner. They don't want to leave anything in to him.
Checks and takes outside. The count 1-2. Tague Davis currently tied with Chris Dominguez and Randy Dell for the most home runs in a single season in Louisville history with 25. The 1-2. 2-2. Davis with 2 strikes this season. That's incredible. 13 of his 25 home runs have come in a 2-strike count.
I have a feeling he's going to be seeing a slider here.
He did see one, and he swung over the top of it for out number 1. Good pitch from Bennett.
It was perfectly set up for that slider. Had thrown some fastballs on that outside corner, just missing, pulling at about 93, 94. And that's where I had the feeling he was going to be getting the slider. I think Tague knew that he was going to be getting that slider too. A big swing, just can't come up with it. That's a huge out.
Byram Hott struck out looking his first time against the starter, Dane Moeller. First pitch, back through the middle to the second baseman, Clavon. Steps on the bag for 1. Throw to first. He got him. Bennett gets out of the jam, allowing just a single run. Bryce Clavon got rid of that ball so quickly to turn the double play, and it does not look like Louisville is going to challenge.
I'll tell you this, partner, this is a heck of a play by Clavon at second. Understanding he has to try to stay back, flips it over to first for finishing the double play.
look, and he's the type of guy like Shannon ran out last Sunday and gave us 5 innings. You know, Hartman has that ability that, you know, if we go to him at a certain spot, he can really go through a lineup a couple times, but just trying to give him a different look and maybe get his first bad inning out of the way in the bullpen.
Mac, we saw Zion Rose. He just finished getting hit, kind of came up a little bit ginger there, even running to second base. Did you have to hold your breath on that one?
You always do. He plays so hard. He plays so fast. You know, those are just freak things right there. But he's so happy to be back in the lineup. We're so happy to have him out there every day. I mean, this is really the first week. I think he's played all 4 games in left field, and it just adds to our toughness out there, our communication, our leadership. It's really, I mean, he can DH. He's mature enough to DH, but man, it's nice to have him on the field.
Before we let you go, Mac, we would be remiss if we didn't ask you about Tate Davis. As Clavon sends that to right center, Moore's throw is going to be cut off. It's a leadoff double, but Davis is putting together one of the best power seasons in Louisville history. What have you seen in his growth year over year?
Oh, he had a really good freshman year, but it's a long year, and the freshmen usually hit a wall, and it seemed like the last month through the postseason maybe he struggled a little bit, but worked on some things this summer, was with Team USA. Then he went home. It's nice when your dad's a former big leaguer, you know, and a really good hitting guy. So, you know, he spent a lot of time hitting with his dad, and he and his dad and Coach Snyder just really communicate. Everybody's all on the same page. You got to be on the same page when you're working with a power hitter like that. What are we trying to do? I think, you know, he really trusts Coach Snyder, and it's been fun. It's been fun to see the jump. You know, you like to see that. After a good freshman year, you're either going to have a sophomore slump or you're going to take your game to that, you know, All-American type level. And the longer you coach, you get guys that do both. But, man, you love to see them take that next step and it's putting together. I mean, and don't ever underestimate, as I'm sure Gabby, like, I mean, he plays great first base. Like, as a guy who coaches the infield, oh, my gosh, having him around the bag, the stretches, the digs, you know, yeah, we're going to work on first step quickness. We got to get out of the hula hoop. There's things that we'll address. He knows, and we'll work on for year 3 because he just wants to keep getting better. But he's fun to coach. I mean, you see the smile; it's genuine, and the talent. It's been special to watch.
Mac, we appreciate the time. Best of luck today.
You got it. Thanks,
Dan
guys.
McDonald, the head coach at Louisville in his 20th season. There's Tate Davis, their big star, and now a big spot here with Talon Bell at the plate. Clavon, who turned that double play, a leadoff double, and Bell gets the bunt down, and Schlageter will do the long underhand toss to first to record the out as Clavon gets to third. I'm not sure that Talon Bell spent a lot of his high school career as being one of the top power bats in Florida bunting, but he got the job done.
It was just get the ball down. That's exactly what he did. Don't worry about trying to bunt it to third or first, just get the bunt down. It's funny, too, because you see that little bit of uncomfortableness, too, holding that bat to bunt it, the way he went after it. But, yeah, you're right. He got the job done, got the runner over to third.
And now here's Nate Savoy with a chance for a free run. Infield back up the middle, and the first pitch misses low. It's 1-0. Savoy's been on base twice today, continuing his strong season and series. This is a really impressive power speed combination that he has. He catches, he plays the outfield, he's DHing again today. The 1-0, swing and a miss. Pulled the string on him there. It's 1-1.
That's a really good pitch, smart pitch too in that situation. Understanding you got a big power hitter up. He's probably looking for that fastball. Changeup is a really nice pitch, especially when you're able to locate it.
Move to an overshift with 3 on the left side. Pitch. And he swings and skies one to center field and deep. Moore going back, still going back. He's at the fence. He makes the catch. Clavon will tag and trot home. It is a very long, loud sacrifice fly for Savoy, and this game is tied at 2. He did not miss that one by very much.
No, he didn't. That exit wheel at 107 miles an hour off the bat. Boy, he got a lot of it, just a tick underneath, but he got the job done. And that's one of the things that Nate Savoy has been doing all season long. He has been getting the job done.
That was a 400-foot sacrifice fly. It's 402 to dead center.
You missed 6 inches.
I'm sorry. 400 foot and 6 inch sacrifice fly. Tristan McClatty takes the ball low. McClatty is over 2. I mean, he just narrowly missed that. That was a long way back that Moore had to go for it.
I'll tell you what, if we go where that's a home run in different ballparks, that's probably a home run in every ballpark except for this one. Just because there's that 402 mark, there's one little spot that jets out. And, of course, as a hitter, that's where you go and hit it. Can't hit it a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. Nope, got to hit it to that 402 spot.
Now, do you walk back to the dugout being upset? McClatty to center field. That one not quite 400 feet, but hit it hard right to Moore, and the inning is over. Clemson ties the game on the Savoy sac fly. We'll visit with his head coach, Eric Bakich, next. Tied at 2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. ACC softball next week, a big 3-game series between number 13 Florida State and Boston College. Friday at 4 Eastern on ACC Network Extra with the weekend matchups on ACC Network. Everything else, all games are also available on the ESPN app. 2-2 game as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll say about the new pitcher Dylan Harrison for Clemson in a moment. Joining us now, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers, Eric Bakich. EB, we have not had a chance to talk to you much about Nate Savoy, but every time we have seen him, he has done something to impress. What has stood out the most about him for you this season?
He just has the has the ability to impact the game with one swing, change the game with one swing, and he's a good hitter too. He's got power line to line. He's one of those guys that can hit it out to all fields, and he doesn't have to get it all to get it over the fence. But just a really exceptional offensive player.
Coach, when you look at your offense right now, the way that they're swinging the bat, every single inning you've had that leadoff hitter reach base. You continue to put pressure on this Louisville defense. What do you want to continue seeing out of your team?
Well, that last inning was 4 quality at-bats in a row, and that's just what we need to do. We need to string them together, and we know they've got a good offense, and we know that we're going to need to keep scoring and just try to put as much pressure and get as many runs across the plate as we can.
EB, we appreciate the time. Best of luck today.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Eric Bakich, the head coach at Clemson, as they've changed it up, going with the Army fatigues and changed it up for their 3rd pitcher of the afternoon, Dylan Harrison. The freshman is on. He will face Jimmy Nugent, who homered in his last trip. 2-2 game as Nugent fouls it down the right field line and out of play. There's Dylan Harrison. I believe they've shorted him on that height. He might really be like 6'7".
He is a tall man on top of that mound. The mound's already 10 inches higher than the playing surface. You add that, it's a big, tall kid on the mound. It's a good fastball, slider, changeup.
Nugent out in front a little bit on that and hits it towards the parking lot. Count 0-2. Jimmy Nugent has been on one. It took him a while to get going this year. He was down in the 8th spot for a good chunk of the year. You see what's happened in the last half dozen games. including the home run earlier today. The 0-2. Outside, the count 1-2. He started to turn the tide for Louisville yesterday, down 3-1. He had a solo home run while we were talking to Eric Bakich. I'm sure that's why
we try to get him off before the first pitch.
Try to get off the headset before Nugent does it again. It's always the worst feeling. Here's Nugent's home run from last night.
Yeah, this is exactly when we're talking with Eric Bakich. And we couldn't give it the kudos because Eric Bakich was talking with us, but this ball was absolutely smashed.
That's the one from this afternoon as he bounces it foul. We were talking to Coach Bakich about that before the game, and I was like, man, I'm sorry about that. He goes, I think last year, he said about 50% of the time that I did those in-game interviews, something bad happened. Not superstitious, fortunately. 2-2. Nugent rifles one down the left field line. That's a fair ball. It'll get into the corner. It scatters the bullpen pitchers for Clemson, and now left fielder Crichton can't find the ball under the seat, and they're going to let Nugent run around the bases, and now it will be called a two-base hit. We just had to wait until
they wanted to make sure that the ball was underneath before they would go ahead and call it. I think it's the right play to make as an umpire, because the last thing that you want is to go out there and be like, the ball's right there. Like, you could have gotten it and it could have been in play. But this ball is absolutely rifled. It's a breaking ball. It's left up in the zone, 104 miles an hour off the bat. Gets everybody scattering. And there you see ball gets lost behind everything.
The snack bin?
There's a snack bin, there's a book bag, there's everything out there. Duffel bags, shoes.
Dan McDonald asking for a little bit of an explanation from Jose Matamoros, but I think it's pretty clear on the replay that there's no chance to get there. The only thing I can think is...
Well, Dan McDonald saying, well, why didn't you just call it right away? Why did you let them go? Because in that case, what ended up happening is that Crichton ends up going out there and tries to actually make the play afterwards, because he's looking at the umpire and the umpire is not saying anything. So any player at that point would say, well, then I need to actually go in there and try to dig out where this is. And you could see exactly where it was and where it was lost. Did the exact right thing. But right there, you see him look back. Umpire's just running out from him. He's raising his hands going, hey, this should be a ground rule double. They weren't calling it, and at that point he said, okay, well, I need to go after it and try to get this ball out. They're coming together, though. They're talking about something here.
I think they're just trying to see if anybody had a better look at whether or not Crichton, right as we cut away there, Crichton looked like he bent down again.
It was after the fact, so he raises up his hands right away. So you could see the ball gets behind. The first thing he does, he's like, I can't find this thing. I'm going to raise up. Now he turns around. He sees that the umpire's not calling, so he goes, I need to try to find where this ball is. So he's going in and he's looking. He's like, oh, now there it is.
The lady pointing where it was. She's trying to, it's right there.
Umpire was just trying to make sure that the ball was lost in an area.
Listen, I get where Dan McDonald's argument is from this, but
Linus Baker's going to
tell us something.
We have a crew chief review of the interference down the line. It's a boundary call.
It's a boundary call, and so this is a crew chief review. This will not count as a review for Louisville, but after that long conversation,
this would be quick.
Should be.
Yeah, as soon as Linus Baker looks to see where that ball was and exactly what happened, it's going to be quick where he's going to come out and say, yes, that's a ground rule double.
If they were to overturn it, I believe that Eric Bakich might lose his mind in the Clemson dugout.
Eric Bakich might be going to the bus early.
In fact, he's going to come out now and try and figure out what's going on. As he tries to get an understanding of what happened there. I mean, Crichton, you're right, did exactly what you're supposed to do, right? And put the hands up. But with the umpire not making the signal.
And he's seeing a base runner continue to run. He's like, wait, do I have to now try to find where this ball is and make the play? And even then, at that point, even at that point, they still didn't even, he still couldn't find it until the lady behind is saying, oh, it's right here. There's the ball.
Under the Gatorade
It's
cups.
under the Gatorade cups, and I think there's a hat covering it as well.
Yeah. This should be
quick.
Very quick. It should be. And if it were to be overturned, I think it would be outside the spirit of that. Like, listen, if that ball's lodged under the padding in the fence, Linus Baker's going to come out and tell us what happened here.
After video review, the call is confirmed. The runner is at second base.
All right, so it is a leadoff double for Jimmy Nugent. He's going to explain it to Dan McDonald. But, like, if a fielder is going to grab a ball, let's say, you know, in right center field, there's a little gap between the padding and the warning track. So there is a little bit of a gap. That's the spot where Crichton was. You could see McDonald arguing with Baker here. But if a ball were to get lodged under there and you saw a player reach in for it, I think you would see that be a continuation play, right?
Correct.
So you can see right at the bottom, like under LaFountain and Capriva and Jurich, like under there, if it were to get stuck under there and a player reached in for it, that would be one thing. But with it ending up
in the bullpen area,
in a plastic bag,
behind everything where you can't even see it. Yeah. And now they're starting to clean it up. Like, all right, guys, let's pick this stuff up to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Get everything. That's right. Clean up your area. Come on, guys.
You want to keep a tidy workspace. And again, I understand Dan McDonald's argument. I would probably be making the same one, but I think in the end they got the call right.
Yeah, I do. And once it goes to video review as well, and they see it, and they're like, yeah, it's confirmed. The ball gets stuck, and you can't even find it. There's a different area there, too. Anyways, I think if the ball gets behind, you don't want a guy trying to reach behind the benches to try to get a ball either. Guys could get hurt. Once it gets lodged behind any type of bench, that's it. It's a ground rule double.
So the reason Dan McDonald upset, from what we understand, is he was reaching in to try and get the ball before the umpire called it interference or called the ball out of play. And again, that totally makes sense, right?
It makes sense.
That's what we guessed, and that's absolutely
and Crichton did have his hands up prior, and the only reason why he went to try to reach in is because the umpire wasn't giving him anything, and he thought, well, I guess the ball is still in play.
As it is, Louisville has the leadoff man at second with nobody out in this tie game for Ben Slanker.
And right now for Ben Slanker, it's get that ball out in front, pull it down that right field line, hit it somewhere to that right side. You want to try to at least move Nugent over to third. Worst case scenario, you're out, but you still moved him over.
This is high, the count 1-2.
Trying to just put the ball in play if you're Slanker. There is a hole on that left side where you could just punch the ball that way as well, and that will still do the job.
Fouled away. We did see him have a wrong way double yesterday down the left field line that sparked a 2-run rally. Ball was hit about, what, 60 miles an hour?
60 miles an hour off the bat. It didn't get out of the infield. They were playing them in at third. Just dumped it over their head.
The 1-2. Slap foul. Right now it feels like he's more in protect mode, and it would be more likely for him to punch something through the left side as he's really letting the ball get deep before he starts to swing. 8 homers this year for Slanker. He does have power. Good pass at that fastball. Count remains 1-2.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed too, they're giving him a lot of area up the middle as well. Because right now, the way that you're looking at this ball game and the way that it's going, Lichtenberger is actually getting off of second. So there's a huge area.
Slanker hooks one deep down the right field line in the corner, and it is gone! Gone! Hooking around the foul pole. A 2-run shot for Ben Slanker, and Louisville has the lead 4-2. A breaking ball that he got out in front on and managed to hook just fair past the 330 marker.
And you gotta love when a guy is trying to do exactly what the team needs him to do, right? Hey, we need you to pull this ball. Be short and quick. Don't try to hit a home run. And he did not. That is a short, compact swing, just trying to catch it out in front, hit it to the right side, got it some air underneath it. Oh, and by the way, that nice little short and compact swing, 105 miles an hour off the bat.
First pitch is a strike to Katie Elam. It's 0-1.
Try to do things for the team and good things will happen. Play team ball, get yourself a 2-run homer.
Katie Elam fouls it back. Count 0-2 to the freshman second baseman. Clemson fought so hard to get a run back at the top of the inning, and now Louisville is retaking the lead.
Tell you what, Louisville has already done that twice in today's ball game. It seems like every single time that Clemson is able to tie up the game, Louisville has that answer back bottom of the inning.
Smashed to center by Elam. Bell going back. He got a nice read on it for a guy that hasn't played much outfield for out number one. Did a really nice job on a ball that was hit pretty hard.
By the way, that's the second time that Kate Elam has hit a ball over 100 miles an hour. It's lined out to center field both times.
4-2 Louisville. Here's George Baker. Kate Elam is pretty impressive. Left-handed hitting catcher gets hit by a pitch. Base for the second time today, and he hasn't even needed to swing the bat. Now here's Alisea. Jimmy Bellinger is going to go to the mound here to talk to Harrison. I think this is a really good mound visit because, Gabby, I'll tell you what, I know it's a 2-run game and
you can't let it spiral.
Bottom of the lineup, yeah, and it kind of has that feel, right,
Yeah.
that this game is teetering on the brink right now.
Especially after the home run, Slanker comes up, hits that big 2-run homer. Then all of a sudden, Elam comes up, hits it hard right on the nose, right to center field. And all of a sudden, as a pitcher, Dylan Harrison starting to think like, oh man, I need to be perfect with my pitches, right? And what does he do? He ends up pulling it and hitting Baker. This is going out there to try to calm him down. Hey, let's get back in the zone. Let's work that ground ball, see if we can get a double play and get out of this inning.
This game is so important for Clemson. This is the current look at their NCAA tournament resumes using their RPI. You can see they have not had a lot of success against the top 50. In the D1 baseball projections this week, they were on the 4 to watch list because of their RPI. But right now they're 6-14 in league. Plus, the committee will consider the midweek loss that they had in a non-conference, technically a non-conference game to Wake Forest, as an ACC loss. So they have no more margin for error. In reality, their best path to the postseason is winning the ACC tournament. But because their metrics are good, they have to win today. And then they essentially have to win out.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 6-14 in league.
They got to win out. If they're able to win out, all of a sudden that would put them at, what, 16-14. They have 10 games left.
They are trying to thread a needle, and the needle is about 2 inches wide.
Yeah.
And the thread is, and the eye of the needle is about 1/8 of an inch thick.
And it's tough teams that they still have to play. BC has been playing some really good baseball. FSU with that pitching staff have been really good this year as well.
Alisea to right for out number 2. And Baker back to first. That'll turn the lineup over. And the thing is that Louisville is in much better position record-wise in the conference and standing in the conference, but their RPI is significantly worse. And so while an RPI hit would happen for Clemson if they lost today, for Dan McDonald's team, a win would be a boost and would probably get them into the 80s, and they have a difficult schedule left, and that's what they need.
They need it.
They need to face a ton of teams with good RPIs. They were 106 coming into the weekend. Now at 90, the metrics in KPI and DSR, the other two metrics that the committee will be using this year are better. KPI, they're still not really in at-large range. DSR, they are. So they need to see their metrics improve, and the only way they can do that is to win games, and especially win them against quality opponents. And despite being last in the ACC, Clemson is still that. Count 2-1 to Lucas Moore. There's Louisville's remaining schedule. Indiana being 110 is surprising. I thought that was a pretty good roster this year. But 3 at Wake, a midweek at Vanderbilt, and 3 at Miami. Soft liner to right, and Moore is retired, and the inning is over. So Harrison does a good job to not let the inning spin away from him, but Ben Slenker gets Louisville the lead.
Oh, gets a breaking ball up in the zone, playing team ball. Comes through clutch to give Louisville a 4-2 lead.
4-2 Louisville as we head to the 5th. Bark of the Park here. There's a big New York Football Giants fan. Do you think he thought their draft was rough?
I see what you did there.
I think everybody saw what I did there. That was the lowest hanging fruit you could find.
I love the glasses, too.
I like the idea of him peering over it after I said that, being like, really? Colton Hartman is expected to get the bulk of the work today. The junior from Ohio who has been the Sunday starter for the most part. Interesting to hear Dan McDonald talking about wanting to change his perspective a little bit and challenging him to just, hey, go out there and throw strikes.
I mean, his problems have been early on in ball games, those first couple of innings, and then he'll settle in and he'll be good the rest of the game. So basically Dan McDonald said, you know what, get all that frustration out in the first couple 2 innings out there in the bullpen to be able to come in and give me 5 strong innings.
Hartman will face Luke Gaffney to lead things off for Clemson in the top of the 5th. 2 for 2 today for Gaffney, who takes in the count 2-0.
Yeah, for Hartman on the mound, he features a fastball, curveball, cutter, has a changeup. He'll also throw a slider. Fastball about 89 and 92 miles an hour.
Foul back. And the count 2-1.
Let's go, Colton!
Gaffney with 7 home runs on the year, including 1 this weekend. Takes low, 3-1. Now Clemson has had the leadoff man on in every inning so far. They've scored just twice. I'm sure that's a trend they would like to see continue. The more opportunities you get, the better chances you have of scoring, especially when your offense has been struggling. A strike on the outside corner, and the count goes full to Gaffney.
Gaffney having a lot of conversations so far today with home plate umpire on certain balls that he just doesn't feel are strikes.
Matthew Schaefer's zone has been tight but fairly consistent to this point, and Gaffney draws a leadoff walk.
And continues that streak of leadoff hitters getting on for Clemson. They've been able to cash in twice so far with that leadoff hitter getting on.
There's Jacob Gerald to bat. First pitch to the catcher, upstairs, no, a called strike. It's 0-1. Gerald representing the tying run. The pitch. And now Hartman ahead 0-2.
Gerald, I think, was probably looking off speed and got a fastball that he could have handled, just couldn't pull the trigger on it.
Hartman comes set. And the 0-2, swing and a miss. Powers it past Gerald for out number 1.
I think that's a smart pitch by Hartman, too, just sticking with the fastball. To me, it looked like Gerald was looking off speed. I think Hartman felt it as well. Just keep attacking him with the fastball. He was laid on it, blew it right by him.
One out for Jack Crichton. You see Colton Hartman, former perfect game All-American. 29 appearances his first 2 years out of the Louisville Pen, mostly as a reliever and as a starter. And Slinker over to make the catch for out number 2. Hartman was a very, very highly touted recruit. He was a good pitcher in high school his freshman and sophomore year. And then he hit his growth spurt. In 1 year between his sophomore and junior year in high school, he grew an inch and added 25 pounds of muscle. Now,
that happened for me in college, not in high school.
Happened for me.
And it wasn't muscle.
Yeah, I've added the 25 pounds. I may have lost the inch. But Hartman is a guy who really was a very highly touted recruit. Louisville's had this long history of getting premium high school left-handers. When you think about Brendan McKay, and you think about Reed Detmers. Even Ethan Eberle, who's been such a huge part of their rotation. But Holtman was the next in line. It just has not been super consistent for the Cardinals. Foul back. Breaking ball up, and the count 0-2 to Fultz. Lefty peering in at Fultz, who waits, and instead of toss to first, and the runner's back. Set. The pitch outside. Count now 1-2 to Fultz. 4-2 Louisville leads. Clemson batting at the top of the 5th. Tying run at the plate. All 3 of these games in this series have been tight, intense affairs, and today is no different. The pitch. In the dirt, it gets away from Baker, but the runner didn't get off first. Gaffney held.
Gotta go there, Gaffney. You got to be reading that, try to get yourself into scoring position, especially with 2 outs. As a runner at first, you take your shuffle. You got to see where that ball is. Once you see that catcher turn, you got to be on a move.
Toss to first and Gaffney back. Not a bad idea by Hartman there, because a lot of times a base runner misses that and then they want to try and do too much,
They want to be aggressive on the next one, and fine, I'm going to get it back. I'll get myself there.
2-2. And the count goes full to Fultz, and so Gaffney will be on the move from first. Fultz knocked in a run with an opposite field 2-out single his last trip. The runner goes, instead a toss to first. Again, he was kind of leaning, getting ready to start going there, and Hartman tossed behind him.
Let's go, kid! Let's go!
Gaffney again, and he breaks late, and ball 4 gets away from Baker. Gaffney with a big turn at second that time, but holds on. Second walk of the inning issued by Hartman.
And this is kind of the situation that Dan McDonald wanted to stay out of, especially with Hartman, because it's been kind of his Achilles heel. 22 walks coming to that makes it 24. Free passes will hurt you as a starting pitcher, and then even coming in as a reliever.
Clemson's already left half a dozen on base for the first 4 innings. They've got 2 more aboard here for the shortstop Lichtenberger. He takes the ball high. It's 1-0.
Yeah, right now just not being able to find that release point. A
Went
lot
away
of times,
quick.
yeah, a lot of times at this point, once you see a guy who's raising that fastball up, a lot of times you're going to call a breaking ball, see if he can get something out in front and get him back out in front with his pitches.
This down low with a fastball. That time it's 2-0.
That was better, though. Better location.
Well, Lichtenberg in the driver's seat. 2-0. Tying runs aboard for Clemson in the 5th. The pitch.
Attaboy!
Called strike. Painted the fastball in the corner. That time it's 2-1. It's amazing. You can miss so wildly 2 pitches before and then paint it. Just like that. The pitch. Inside with a breaking ball, and it's 3-1 to Lichtenberger.
You got to be sitting dead right if you're Lichtenberger. Look for a pitch that you can drive here. Catching it out in front. Thinking pull side.
He takes inside, and the bases are loaded. Hartman has walked 3 in the inning. The last 2 with 2 outs. And it will bring up Bryce Clavon, who doubled his last time, and George Baker.
Smart move.
Yeah, but the way he walked out to the mound was like, hey, we got to do something here. And Dan McDonald is going to make this mound visit. And instead of Roger Williams addressing what's going on, he's talking to George Baker first, and now Hartman.
I haven't seen Dan McDonald run out of a dugout like that in a long time, and that's him going out there to just try to talk down Hartman, letting him understand, we need you here. There's bases loaded. We need to get this one. You need to get us out of this inning.
A big chance for Bryce Clavon, not in the original starting lineup, a late ad. Ty Dillard was scratched just about 5 minutes before first pitch. Clavon yesterday struggled to get a bunt down in a key situation, was picked off. He takes a strike, 0-1. He has taken over as the most everyday center fielder, but playing second today. You see the numbers, they've cooled a little bit of late, but he's got some pop, and he can absolutely fly. The 0-1 takes outside, it's 1-1.
Get back ahead, go, let's go!
Runners get their lead at every station, the 1-1. 2-1.
You're Clavon right now, you're being selective. You're looking for one pitch, one zone, one area. The pitch that you love, the one that you put on the pedestal, that's what you're looking for right here. You're looking to do some damage with bases loaded. Clemson needs that big hit. They have not been able to get it.
Down low, it's 3-1 to Clavon. No action in the Louisville pen. This inning belongs to Hartman.
Colton, you got this. Let's go, kid.
He's set in the 3-1. Upstairs, ball 4, and he walks in a run. The 4th walk of the inning from Colton Hartman, and it's a 1-run game.
I mean, to be honest with you, in these type of situations, if you're a hitter, you're going to be very selective. I'm taking one as a hitter here. I'm not going to go up there just to swing the bat. I'm going to make Hartman have to throw me at least 2. I'm going to wait for the first one, then I'm going to be really selective on my second one. And if he wants to throw a breaking ball for a strike, so be it. But I'm not going to take the pressure off of him right now.
Bell 2 for 6 on the year. He squares and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Got down to sacrifice his last trip. He's also been hit by a pitch. Just his 3rd start of the year that hasn't been on the mound. The 0-1. A high strike, and it's 0-2. Well, he took the 2, and now he's got a battle.
And they were both breaking balls, and that just goes to show you right now that Hartman is just having trouble command the fastball. Now, the problem is that that fastball is about 92 miles an hour, so you have to at least try to be on it.
The 0-2, swinging a tapper foul. Ooh, that got a piece of George Baker.
Time, George. Take your time.
Oh, that's the, it's like getting the dead leg.
Yep,
oh,
right on
got
the
him
arm.
right on the arm.
Mm-hmm. He's in a lot of pain right now. Yeah, bring it up. I believe that got him right in the shoulder. But I will tell you this, though. I mean, Hartman was throwing the fastball there. Talon Bell did a good job of staying on it. These are the pitchers right now that when they struggle with the fastball, it's almost like you got to turn the field so you can stay on the breaking ball but still be able to react to the fastball.
Missed way outside that time. It's 1-2.
And by turning the field, I'm saying for Talon Bell, he's looking to hit the ball to left center rather than trying to pull the ball and catch it out in front. That will be able to keep you on the breaking ball, but you could still react to a fastball.
The 1-2. Called strike 3. Lands the breaking ball there, and Clemson leaves him loaded. They've stranded 9. We're halfway through this one with Louisville leading Clemson 4-3. Beautiful Jim Patterson Stadium. That's where we were earlier, grabbing burgers here.
Yeah, we had a 2-patty. They're only doing 1. $4 extra for a second patty. I'm just saying, that's a great deal.
They are actually really good burgers here.
And we almost wanted to get one of these. By the way, that's only 1 scoop.
Is it?
That's a heck of a scoop.
I mean, that seems awfully small for 1 scoop, Gabby. Park in the park. Tonight, Zion Rose will lead things off for Louisville. They lead 4-3. Finale of this 3-game series. Great to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. A beautiful day in Louisville, Kentucky. And Zion Rose skies one to right. And Tristan McClatty will put it away for out number 1.
I'll tell you what, Talon Bell had no idea where that ball was. That sun must be right on top of the field right now, because that ball went up and it looked like everybody had trouble trying to find it.
Tank Davis is 0 for 2 today with a couple of strikeouts. Tied for the nation's home run lead with Landon Hairston of Arizona State. Pitch inside. It's 1-0. Here are some of the top candidates for the Golden Spikes Award. We'll show them to you during Davis's at bat, but he certainly is in the mix. The Golden Spikes Award presented by USA Baseball every year to the top amateur baseball player in the country as the count's 1-1. These are the top candidates. A couple of ACC players on there. Von Lackey at Georgia Tech. Daniel Jackson, the catcher at Georgia, has a chance to go 20-20 this year as a catcher. 20 homers, 20 bags. And then you see Rock Chalowski, who will likely be the number 1 overall pick in the draft from UCLA. What do you got, Gabby?
Right now, I would put Davis ahead of everybody because he does lead D1 baseball, also in RBIs, and not only that, he's hitting almost 390. So I would have to say that he is on the top of the leaderboard, but boy, that's a lot of good players on that list. A lot of big leaguers, you'll see names on that list right there.
So let me ask you, just as a general rule, when you're looking at awards, how much does position matter? Because some of those guys, you mentioned Jackson catches and plays the outfield.
Yep.
Von Lackey's a catcher. Rock Chalowski's a shortstop. As Davis hits it into the shift and shallow right, and Clavon will toss to first for out number 2. Landon Hairston has been playing more center field than left field of late. Left field is huge also at Phoenix Municipal Stadium. But so how much does being in a premium defensive position and putting up those numbers matter to you?
It matters, but I feel like the numbers offensively matter a little bit more. And I get what you're saying, because as a catcher behind the plate, those guys are going to get a lot more tired than a guy who's playing first base. But when the numbers are that different, you're talking about 25 home runs compared to 12 home runs. That is big. I know that you're talking about the Georgia guy has 20 home runs, so he's been doing very well there.
Yeah,
I think it comes out to more of how good has the team been doing. Or did they make it to Omaha? I feel like that will have more than positioning.
But should it? I mean,
I don't think it should, but I think that they will look at that.
Because if that's the case, Tank Davis may not win the award because Louisville, as of right now, would be on the outside looking in on the postseason.
Right. I don't think that that should have any effect in it. But I think that people do look at that and say, well, he was playing on a team that is making it to Omaha, and one team they didn't, get through, or whatever it might be. I don't think that that is fair when you're giving out an individual award, but it happens.
In the dirt, the count 1-2. I think it's a very interesting discussion. Our colleague Mike Rooney here at ESPN has been pretty adamant that he feels like Rock Chalowski, even though Chalowski's numbers are not the best there, he's the best player on the best team in the country, and therefore he plays the most premium position at shortstop. And so it checks a lot of boxes there. Chalowski's having a good year. Now, coming into this weekend, he was like 7th on the team in extra base hits. UCLA, if you're not familiar, their lineup is very Georgia Tech-ish. It's one of the 3 best lineups in the country. Hot fouls it back. And so Rooney has kind of made that case. I don't know that I fully agree with him on it. I tend to look at it more like you do, that, hey, it doesn't matter what the team does. This is an individual award. And right now, there is a non-zero chance that Tank Davis ends up with 30 homers and 100 knocked in. Hot to center field, Bell going back. And he makes another nice play. He's done a very nice job defensively as Clemson gets their first 1-2-3 innings since the first. We've played 5. We got a tight one here in Louisville with the Cardinals leading the Tigers 4-3. Top 10 showdown in college baseball Tuesday night as the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers travel to Chapel Hill. You can catch the action on ACC Network and, as always, on the ESPN app. That'll be a great one. North Carolina winning their series from rival Duke. Coastal already clinched the series over Texas State. They have just 2 losses in the Sun Belt this year, last year's national runner-up. Do you know where the Chanticleer is? As Nate Savoy leads off, takes a strike.
No.
It's like an angry fighting chicken.
How was I supposed to know that?
I mean, I don't know if if you read Chaucer, you would know that. Canterbury Tales wasn't in your.
No, you could keep going on things I don't know. This would be great.
Being at home. Nate Savoy. Single walk and a sac fly today. Couple of home runs in this series, and he's behind 1-2. Colton Hartman walked 4 in his last inning, including 1 with the bases loaded. Louisville needs him to soak up some innings and post a few zeros here. 2-2. Savoy last year was a first-team freshman All-American as a catcher and a second-teamer as an outfielder. Yeah! Takes low and the count is full. You know how good you have to be a freshman All-American at 2 different positions?
Very good, and he is very good. I mean, he's proving it again here this year. The numbers that he's putting up. He could probably be an All-American here with 2 different positions, left field and catcher.
3-2, foul back and out of play.
Might even put him as the third as a DH too. Why not?
I think I had that backwards. Actually, it was first team in the outfield, second team catcher. But either way, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Most guys would like to be an All-American 1 year at one position. He did it twice in 1 year at different spots. The 3-2 coming again from Hartman. Popped it up. Elam, the second baseman and shallow center, makes the catch for out number 1.
You know what? Nate Savoy, watching him play, he hit a fly ball, a routine fly ball. He was running 100% the whole way through. And there's a different reasons for that, right? Right now, high clouds, high sky, tough to see. There's a lot of sun out there. Guys have been having trouble, and he realizes that, but he took off running. Teammates looking at that are looking at themselves going like, if he's doing it, we got to do it. And that is huge for Eric Bakich to have a guy showing, hey, I'm going out there, and I might have popped up, but I'm giving it all I got.
McClatty takes a strike.
And this is what I'm talking about. Watch, he hits this pop fly. Now what does he do? I mean, this is a straight sprint right out of the box.
Foul back, it's 0-2. I think it's a great point. And listen, you would forgive Clemson's players a little bit, I think, if they were in a situation where they hit a pop-up like that and they dipped their head because things have been going so poorly. But when your best players are putting forth the best effort, it does show you something. McClatty down on strikes, 2 outs. This is a different looking Hartman in this inning too. Talked to Savoy briefly yesterday. Nice kid.
I think they're trying to say maybe he foul-tipped that ball.
It did sound like there was a clip there. Eric Bakich out to talk to Matthew Schieffer.
I was telling Matthew Schieffer, hey, look, I mean, there was contact made there.
Did you think he got a piece of it?
It was so quick. I didn't really hear anything right off the bat, but I guarantee our great crew is going to show us a replay.
All right, let's hear what it sounded like. Let's see if we can listen and hear if there's a tick. Hard to tell from
It's
there.
hard to tell.
Yeah,
That's,
I think
and that's
that was
what I
just a
saw
glove.
as
Yeah.
well. Like, I was like, I mean, could he have? Yes. Am I 100%? No.
It could have just been bouncing in and out of the glove.
No, yeah, you can't. It's impossible.
Could have
to
been
see.
turf and glove. Yeah, I mean, Baker didn't think he got a piece of it. But again, like if you want to know why Eric Bakich is coming out, it's because either he or McClatty heard that sound.
Yeah. I mean, there was guys yelling and screaming from inside the dugout saying that he foul tipped it. So that also makes him come out and say, I got it, guys. See if we can talk with the umpire here.
2 outs, nobody on for Luke Gaffney. Clemson trailing by a run in the 6th. First pitch down low. Gaffney, a couple more hits today. He's had a terrific series. Waits and the 1-0. Takes outside, 2-0. Gaffney told the story before. He was a former freshman All-American at Purdue and was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. Now, struggled for most of last season, lost his starting job late in the year. But he's really started to put it together over the last couple of weeks. He's ahead in the count here, 3-0. He set Purdue's freshman records for hits, homers, runs batted in, total bases, slugging, and tied the single season runs scored record. Other than that, it was kind of a mid-league freshman year. He draws a 2-out walk here in the 6th. Already the 5th walk issued by Colton Hartman. He's only thrown an inning in 2/3.
It's almost kind of like what happened last inning. Yeah, he walked Gaffney, who was the first batter that he had faced, and he got 2 pretty quick outs. And then all of a sudden he went into a just walk, and walk. This inning, 2 quick outs. Here we go with another walk. So you got to get right back into that zone.
7 walks yesterday from Louisville, pitching 8 today. And that one off the end of the bat. Coming in is Rose. He dives, can't get it. It's a base hit. Gaffney stops at second. As Rose eyeballs him, and the inning continues, and now a 2-out threat coming for Clemson. Gerald a single. And that'll bring up Crichton, who is 0 for 2 with a walk.
Well, Rose came in quick on that one. That ball off the end of the bat of Jacob Gerald. Gets an off-speed pitch right off the end of the bat, but how quick Rose comes in to try to make this play. Good job of keeping that ball in front of him, picking it up, realizing it. Great job, too, by Gaffney of not trying to take the extra base there because he understands that Rose has an absolute cannon out there in left field.
First pitch misses high to Jack Crichton. It's 1-0. Ty Stark, the left-hander, getting ready in the bullpen for Louisville. There comes the 1-0 from Hartman to Crichton. Swing and a miss. Gets away from Baker for a moment. We count 1-1. There's Stark. He closed out the 13-10 victory on Friday night for the Cardinal. There's the 1-1. 2-1. Look at the number of base runners that Clemson has left on base. 25 already in this series. They have 2 more on here. Today they have created a ton of run-scoring opportunities. Bouncer to third. Hot has it. He'll go the short way to second for the force. And a collision there as Gerald runs into Elam. And the inning is over. Clemson leaves 2 more. They've left 11 through 6. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 4-3 Louisville. out in left center field at Jim Patterson Stadium. Maybe groove a little, do some dancing, have something
Cold
nice
beverage.
cold, yeah. Some kids here today. Great family entertainment on a Saturday afternoon. Dude didn't bring us any ice cream. Thanks a lot.
We only wanted one scoop.
And it's Bark at the Park, so there's a lot of fluffy friends that are here as well. And that is a real weak effort on the Macarena. Here's Drew Titsworth. I mean, like, if you're going to do it, do it.
If you're
right?
going to do it, you got to just do it. Drew Titworth on the mound, a 6.26 ERA. Doesn't really walk guys. Strikeouts are there. He's just been getting hit around. Guys are hitting 273 against him. It's a fastball, sinker, slider. He does have a cutter. He'll throw a split finger. That fastball can get up to 97 miles an hour. He has been better coming out of the bullpen than as a starter. They wanted to try to turn him into a starter. The numbers just weren't there. But him coming out of the bullpen, it's an electric arm.
Yeah, it happened last year towards the end of the season. They moved him to the rotation, and then he spent most of this year as the Sunday starter for Clemson. But his ERA is almost 2 runs better as a reliever than a starter, and we have seen him have dominant outings. Now, he struggled in his 5-pitch outing on Friday night. He's been used a lot of late, but to your point, it's a big fastball from a lower angle. It is really tough for hitters to get on top of it. Jimmy Nugent has a homer and a double today, and he swings to the first pitch fastball. He's late on it and fouls it down the right field line.
Yeah, that fastball 95 miles an hour coming at him, and that's what you can expect. You can see pitches from him, especially coming out of the bullpen, in that 95 to 97 range.
See Nugent's numbers tonight, this afternoon. Louisville looking for their first ACC series sweep of the year. This is just their second series win as Lichtenberger down to a knee, gloves it and throws to first to get the leadoff man. 1 out.
Tell you what, Jimmy Nugent, even when he hits a ground out, it's still loud. 109 miles an hour off the bat to Lichtenberger. Made a nice play, just keeping it in front of him. He didn't try to catch it. The ball caught him.
One out for Ben Slanker. He gave Louisville the lead with a 2-run home run his last trip. First pitch. A strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Misses high as Titsworth spun out of his delivery. The delivery. A strike on the inside corner. It's 1-2. 96. This looks like a different guy than we saw as a starter this year.
Yeah, I think he just, there's guys who just like coming out of the bullpen. Just go out there, let me just throw as hard as I can. And I mean, this is absolutely filthy. That's 96 mile an hour sinker at the knees. Just to freeze Slanker, who, remember, he was the one that hit the 2-run homer to put him up. Look at this pitch and how nasty it is. The movement. That's 96 miles an hour, bottom of the zone.
2 up, 2 down for Titsworth in the 6th. Here's Kane Elam. He's flying to center field twice, and he swings and misses the breaking ball. It's 0-1.
This is what Bakich wanted to see out of Drew Titsworth as a starter. Just there's a different mentality to be a starter than there is to be a reliever.
Outside. 1-1. Well, it really feels like that this relief corps has turned into the strength of the Clemson staff this year. Their pitching, if you look at their numbers overall, have been very good. In ACC play, the ERA has been more like 6.5 as Elam splits the gap in right center field, and he'll be on his way to second with a 2-out double. 1 for 3 today for the freshman, who keeps getting better and better every week we see him.
Well, the thing with Elam, too, it's not like he hasn't been hitting the ball hard today. That's his 3rd ball that he has hit over 100 miles an hour. This is the first one that finds a gap. Stays back, gets that fastball that came in at 94. Nice, easy swing, staying behind it, driving it the opposite way. I mean, I tell you what, Elam has been fun to watch in this series. What he's been able to do defensively, but what he's also been able to do offensively.
George Baker will hit. He walked and hit by a pitch, hitting .224 on the year. He takes outside as the sophomore. It's 1-0. Baker known more for his glove than his offense to this point in his career. He takes up high and count 2-0 to the Maryland native. Baker's dad was a minor leaguer with the Orioles and the Marlins. He's had sisters who played softball in college at Delaware State, so a real baseball, softball family as he fouls it back. Got tied up there, had a good pitch to hit. It's 2-1. Louisville's numbers with 2 outs in this series, they have been a little different than Clemson.
And for Baker hitting, you can see where they're playing him. Clemson playing him for Poole. They've got the shift on him, basically saying this is where we think you're going to hit it. So right now, if you're Baker, you've got a lot of room right back up the middle. And if you're able to hit it there, that's an easy RBI.
2-2 the count to the left-handed hitting catcher. The pitch, foul back. 4-3 Louisville, last of the 6th. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Tied him up with a fastball, and the inning is over. Louisville leaves a man in scoring position. We've played 6, and we have a tight one. Louisville up 4-3 on Clemson. Louisville leads Clemson 4-3 as we start the 7th inning. Clemson has left 11 on base to this point today. Louisville with home runs from Slanker and Nugent to take the lead as they go for the sweep. Here are the current ACC projections for the D1 baseball field of 64. You can see there are 7 top 2 seeds, 3 hosts as of now. North Carolina State would be in, as well as the 8th team. Clemson on the outside looking in, Louisville on the outside looking in. This weekend has been very interesting, Gabby. Virginia got swept by Pitt. And that, to me, is maybe the biggest result of the weekend, even with one where Virginia Tech took 2 out of 3 from NC State. But Pitt has started to play their way back into the mix. As Fultz swings at the first pitch and sends it to center. Moore fighting the sun makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. You have been...
I told you.
I know.
I told you I like that Pitt offense. They can score runs. It's a team that I root for. I want to see them finally get in to the dance. I think they have a team this year that can really scare other teams.
Here's the first pitch to Tyler Lichtenberger. Here are some of the teams that we're keeping the closest eye on, and you can see there's the DSR, the Diamond Sports Ranking, and the KPI with it. We're coming into the weekend. Pitt's RPI now starting to get in range. Northern schools get a little bit more grace. NC State dropping the series to Virginia Tech. They need to get healthy, as they've won just 2 of their last 6 in league play and are down a couple of starters. So some of those on there. Virginia Tech's path is pretty good, I think, to be able to get there. Their schedule is favorable. Their metrics are good. That was a big series win for them in Blacksburg. But those were the names that we looked at coming into the weekend, and Pitt certainly has not.
And you got to root for Mike Bell
Yes.
and what he's been able to do there.
The last time Pitt made the NCAA tournament in baseball was 1995.
Attaboy!
What were you doing in 1995?
I was
Let's go, Colton, let's go!
playing baseball somewhere, if I had to guess. Maybe soccer. Baseball or soccer. Those are 2 sports I like to play.
Outside, ball 4. Lichtenberger reaches.
Getting in trouble by my parents.
All right, Colton, let him turn it for you.
That's what 95 was all about.
I was doing a lot in 95.
Sounds like you were pretty busy. Colton Hartman with half a dozen walks. He entered this game in the 5th inning. He has only allowed 1 run to this point, but
Stay ready, boys!
here's Bryce Clavon, who has a double and a ground out. He's also walked, but you're starting to get to the spot here where if you're Louisville and you're going to keep putting free runners on base, Clemson is going to cash in on this at some point.
One on him, Colton, let's go!
They will try to keep the runner Lichtenberger close at first.
Let Georgie back pitch.
It's been so many opportunities today for Clemson, and
Too many.
now they have to start cashing in.
And we've seen it all series long, too. They've had the opportunities to have big innings. They just haven't come up with the big hit.
Clemson currently in last place in the ACC. The metrics are good, but the league record is a huge problem for them. Clavon bunts through it, stabbing at it. It's 0-2. If I could put my hands on Bryce Clavon's shoulder, I would say, you are so fast. You don't need to stab at it. Just get it down.
Just
and
get
you're
it
gonna
down.
there.
Do it late, get it down, get the angle, and that is it.
The 0-2 in the dirt. Count 1 and 2. He is a really, I think he's got a chance to be a very good player next year for Clemson. We have seen some flashes from him. He plays a good center field. He can really run. He is powerful. He was a superstar high school football player in Georgia. Had a chance to play both at UGA. Settled on baseball, spent a year there, and then jumped into the portal and came to Clemson.
Clemson, it was between Clemson and Georgia. Georgia was allowing him to play both. He said, let me go there, and then decided, you know what? I'm going to go back to Clemson.
Goes down on strikes as he chases that breaking ball for out number 2. That might have been the best breaker that Hartman's thrown today.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that we've seen with Hartman today. It's either he's on or he's not, and it goes from batter to batter, where all of a sudden he just finds it and he's able to dot. He has the good breaking ball, and then all of a sudden it's just like he loses command of that fastball, doesn't know where it's going.
2 outs to the number 9 hitter, Talon Bell. Bell hit by a pitch. Also sacrificed and struck out swinging. 2 for 7 on the year. First, the runner back. Lichtenberger 2 for 3 in stolen base attempts. It's an interesting spot. Do you think about running here, or do you want to clear the 9 spot in the order?
I think you want to clear the 9 spot in the order.
First pitch to Bell. Takes a strike. It's 0-1.
If there was no outs, different story. But with 2 outs, you go ahead and you say, look, if Talon Bell can go ahead and pop one like he did in game 1, perfect. If not, that's fine. We just roll over, and next inning, Savoy is going to be able to go up there.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
See if he stays with the breaking ball. That's the thing, too. Clemson, Louisville, they understand that Talon Bell is a pitcher. He hasn't really been hitting. Don't want to just serve him a cookie.
Choked way up here with 2 strikes and throw to first, the runner back. Starting to hear these Louisville fans get into it with all of the rhythmic clapping, some of them coming to their feet with 2 strikes. Trying to get Hartman through this 7th inning as they look for their first sweep since last year. The 0-2, instead another throw to first. It's a lot of attention being paid to Lichtenberger.
Especially when a hitter has 2 strikes on it's an 0-2 count. Right now, concentrate on that hitter. You don't want to make a mistake and leave something over the plate. You're Louisville because you're worrying about the runner so much.
Another toss to first. Lichtenberger's going to need some timeout. Get adjusted to get some of that turf filler out of his oven mitt. Ready again, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on the breaking ball, and the inning is over. Clemson is left 12. Hartman with a pair of strikeouts to get out of the jam.
Yeah, it looks like Hartman finally found that breaking ball. 2 strikeouts in a row. Strikes out Claiborne, then strikes out Talon Bell to end the inning.
Here at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville, the Cardinals leading Clemson 4-3. And with this 1-run game on this Bark in the Park, the Pups are finding all the shade and all the youngsters are out to enjoy. Do you think that they dressed him in that bright green so they could notice him? Yeah, if he started to crawl away. That's ours. Alicea then to the top of the order with Moore and Rose here for Louisville. This inning and the top of the 8th probably going to be the spots that decide this game. Best hitters coming up for both teams. Alicea Not your typical 9-hole hitter. He has hit a leadoff a lot during his career. And he's the kind of spark plug that Louisville can use to jumpstart the offense today. Tapper back to the mound. Titsworth has it and underhands to first. The leadoff man gone. So a big first out for Drew Titsworth.
I'll tell you this, Drew Titsworth looks really, really good on the mound. It's a great fastball, 95, 96 miles an hour. The breaking pitches are exactly what you want to see out of him. He's got the split finger. You'll see him hold it pre-grip. It's the hardest pitch to hold, so he'll pre-grip that when he goes into his glove. But boy, he has looked fantastic on the mound today.
Lucas Moore bats. He's walked in 3 trips. The 1-0 to the speedy center fielder in the air to left. Going back on it, Crichton still going back on the warning track. He hauls it in for out number 2.
Let's go, Z, let's go.
And it'll be up to Zion Rose. Rose today has been very quiet. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 3rd. That was Louisville's best chance to break this game open. They had a 2-1 lead at that point. And then Tate Davis struck out and Byram Hott hit into a double play. And while they have had traffic, really, it's Ben Slinker's 2-run home run that gave them the lead in the 4th. They hold a 1-run advantage now. Outside, the count 1-1 to Rose. Power on power matchup here. The pitch. Outside, it's 2-1.
These are the at-bats that I love. You have a power hitter going up against a power pitcher. Who's going to win the battle?
2-1. Back through the middle, a kick save by Titsworth to short. Lichtenberger's throw, he got him! Oh, he got him! I think they're going to look at this one, but man, what a play by Lichtenberger to get the speedy Rose at first. If it stands, wow.
The old kick save and
Louisville
abuse.
is challenging the out at first base.
They will take a look at this, but
I'll tell you, hey, this ball was, I mean, ticketed for center field until Titsworth just threw the foot out there. A kick save. How about Lichtenberger coming in to make the play and throw to first? They're all laughing about it at this point. I mean, this ball's going right back up the middle, and there it is, right off the bottom of the foot.
I mean, I thought that was going to end up in shallow left field, but Lichtenberger, look at the change of direction.
And how quick he got it in and out of his glove. The only thing that I was looking at, and the only thing that I was kind of like, was Gaffney's foot on the base when he was making the play.
They got him. He's out. I think he's out.
It's hard to tell. It looked like maybe the front foot had been pulled off the base. It was hard for me to see from our angle. But, I mean, what a play. I mean, goodness. And that's the thing, too. Lichtenberger coming out and getting it and quickly getting out of his glove.
After video review, the call of out at first base is confirmed. Louisville is charged to the challenge.
1-6-3 put out to end the inning. Some slick fielding from Clemson. They'll have the top of the order due in the 8th, trailing by a run. take a look at today's All-State Good Hands play. Some fancy footwork leads to the good hands. Tyler Lichtenberger getting the redirect for Drew Titsworth and a good stretch from Luke Gaffney. Our All-State Good Hands play of the game.
That's a team award on that one. Everybody had a part.
I guess it becomes the good hands part becomes literally plural. It just might be good appendage play of the game today. Zane Stahl is out of the bullpen for Louisville, the 6'7" freshman. Walks have been an issue like most Louisville pitchers.
That's a big man on the mound, though. It's a good fastball, 90 to 94, has a curveball. He does also have a splitter, a 3-pitch pitcher. Guys really haven't been doing too much damage. Some batting average against is only at 172. So he's been keeping the hits away. But again, the problem that Louisville has been having this season is, well, that bullpen allowing too many free passes.
This is basically a Gabby Sanchez tribute game, right? We've seen guys with backside doubles. We saw a great soccer play. You were a good high school soccer player. I see in my notes on Zane Stahl that he enjoys thrifting.
I love thrifting.
I know you do.
Clemson has a store that's fantastic. Been over there so much. Secondhand, I've got a nice polo for
I
about
saw that. It was a good-looking shirt.
$5 polo shirt. Yeah, I'm all over that one.
Driven down the line by Nate Savoy, slicing foul. It's 0-1. Colton Hartman's day done, getting the bulk of the work. 6 walks in 3 innings, but just 1 run allowed.
Keep coming, Zane!
Louisville 6 outs away from a series sweep, but this is the spot where Stahl is really going to have to work. Savoy's had a good series. He is one of their most powerful hitters. McClatty, 0 for 4 today, is due. Gaffney has been red hot in this series, and if anybody gets on, Gerald leads his team in homers. Pitch way outside, and the count 1-1.
Let's go! Keep pounding that zone, kid!
Right now, I mean, this is where Clemson needs to put some runs on the board. You got the top of the lineup in Savoy, McClatty, and Gaffney. You're down by 1. You got to do some damage here.
Boy.
Bouncer to third. Hot has it. Throws on the run to first. In time to get Savoy. Busted it down the line for out number 1.
That's a very nice play. And we've seen Byram Hott have a lot of nice plays over there at third base. And this one coming in, understanding, hey, that ball hit right in front of home plate. I got to come get it. Does just that. Gets around the baseball. Nice throw over to first.
One out for McClatty. McClatty 0 for 4 today. Average has fallen to under 300 on the year. Left-handed takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. McClatty's had some big moments. He had a huge home run against Miami the other way when Clemson came back to win the second game of that series with the Hurricanes. It's that one to short. Alicea stays with a tricky hop and throws him out. 2 up, 2 down for the freshman Stahl, and here's Gaffney.
When you look at what Louisville has been able to do, especially defensively, that's been the biggest difference in this series. The way that they've been able to control their defense and not make errors, don't give any extra bases. The difference between Clemson, where Clemson, first 2 games, 5 errors in each one of those. Today they have 1. That's been a huge difference between both of these teams, and the reason why, too, Louisville has won the first 2 games.
Eric Bakich is going to use one of the offensive timeouts for Clemson here. As he brings Gaffney over. I think this is as much as to just make Stahl think about it. It's like the freezing technique for a kicker.
The other thing is, too, if you have anybody warming up, which it looks like they might, just to give them an extra couple seconds to be able to throw a couple pitches.
Yeah, they are getting Dion Brown loose.
And that's why I think all of a sudden it's 2 quick outs, and it's like, wait a minute, we need Brown to get some extra pitches going if we're thinking about bringing him in.
I think he's just talking to you, Blue.
2 outs for Gaffney. Gaffney's been the hitting star outside of Savoy in this series for Clemson. On base all 4 times today. A pair of hits, a pair of walks, 2 runs scored. First pitch. This is low. The count 1-0.
Let's go, Zane, let's go! One more, kid! Attaboy!
Down low. The count 2-0 now to Gaffney. Two and 0 the count to Gaffney. This is a pretty important pitch for Stahl. The delivery in the dirt, 3-0. And the last thing you want to do is put Gaffney out ahead of Jacob Gerald. I know he's been quiet today, but
Yeah, but Jacob Gerald, one swing of the bat, all of a sudden turns this game around. A lot of power in the bat for Jacob Gerald. You do not want to walk Gaffney. If he gets on because he earned it, that's fine.
strike at the knees, 3-1.
And you got to do the same exact thing 2 more times.
Let's go, 3-4, let's go!
Louisville clinging to a 1-run lead here in the 8th. The pitch. Yeah! Called strike at the knees. Gaffney had tossed his bat away. And now he says he was sorry. Matthew Schaefer, the home plate umpire, said, my bad.
He's better hurry up, too, because that clock is running. I mean, this is a good pitch.
Yeah, good job by Baker to receive it, too. Yeah, the count is full. 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th. The pitch. Down low, ball 4. And Gaffney does indeed walk. And Louisville pitching still has not had a 1-2-3 inning today. And now here's Gerald.
Louisville pitching 10 walks in today's ball game, but they've been able to somehow get out of all of those innings with all those runners on base.
If it's going to happen for Clemson, now is probably the time, and Roger Williams on his way out. The pitching coach, former All-ACC pitcher at North Carolina, he has been with Dan McDonnell every single day that the MAC has been in charge of this Louisville program. 20 years, 6 Omaha trips. You see the resume, 58 pitchers in those 20 seasons drafted.
And Roger Williams basically right now, they're just kind of going right over the scouting report against Jacob Gerald just to make sure, hey, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. Let's make sure that we don't leave something up because Gerald has the ability to hit a home run. He leads Louisville with home runs this season.
Aaron England, who struck out the side in the 9th inning to record the save, getting loose in the Louisville pen. But for now, they'll stick with the freshman Stahl. Go ahead run at the plate, and no one on this Clemson lineup has more home runs than Jacob Gerald. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Gerald a single and a walk. Gaffney without great speed at first, although he has a healthy lead. The 1-0. Did he hold up? He did on appeal, and the count 2-0 to Gerald.
If you're Gaffney, you're not going anywhere, in my opinion. You got your home run hitter up. Clemson needs that big hit. They're going to be looking for their captain to supply that big hit.
2-0. In the dirt, the count 3-0 to Gerald. Jack Crichton is on deck.
This is an easy one. You're swinging. You ain't taking. If he gives you a cookie, go ahead. Catch that ball out in front.
He set down the first 2 so easily, and now he's fallen behind again, and Gerald takes a strike. It's 3-1.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for. That's a 3-0 strike. Pitch may be a ball off the plate. They're going to give it to him. Right now, you're still waiting for that one pitch.
Clemson trailing by a run. The pitch. Outside, ball 4, back-to-back walks. And now the tying run is in scoring position and the go-ahead run is aboard. And here's Jack Crichton, who is 0 for 3 today. At some point, Clemson has to come through in one of these spots, don't they?
I mean, we've been saying that about since the first inning, that at some point here, things got to change, and it looks like the change is going to be made on the pitcher's mound.
We have a pitching change here as Aaron England is going to enter the game. The lefty's going to face Jack Crichton with the tying and go-ahead runs on base here in the top of the 8th inning. Louisville looking for the sweep. Coming up after our game, Clemson and Duke on the softball field. Number 23 Tigers in Durham to take on the number 12 Blue Devils. Big matchup this afternoon. We'll get you out there as soon as we are done today here in Louisville. Dan McDonnell has made the pitching change, and Aaron England is on, who had a tremendous performance last night. His 9th inning, terrific. He did not look like a guy who has almost as many walks as innings pitched.
Not last night. Last night he was absolutely fantastic. He had that fastball working. He had the curveball working.
Here's what he did. In a 5-run game, strikeouts on 3 straight fastballs as he went through the heart of the Clemson order. And you can see that the numbers against righties significantly better than they are against lefties, and he will face the right-handed hitting Jack Crichton, who struck out to end the game yesterday.
Yeah, already faced him, so already knows exactly what that fastball is going to look like. Fastball 90 to 94 miles an hour. I think yesterday we saw some 95s as well, so he can get up there. Good curveball, 77 and 79 miles an hour. But it's, I mean, look, 72% of the time he's up there, he's throwing fastballs at you. He's going right after hitters. He's got to button his top, though.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that.
Got to fix that up a little bit.
These are the great Muhammad Ali jerseys that Louisville rocks on Sundays. These are tremendous. You can see the pitch selection, to your point, on how often he uses the fastball. And cutter as well. So a lot of hard stuff that'll be coming at Crichton, and I would think he's just going to be trying to fire that fastball by him again.
I mean, I would agree with you on that. He's going to just be saying, hey, here it is. Come try to hit me. He did it yesterday. It worked out for him.
Tying run at second, go ahead run at first, 2 outs in the 8th. Louisville with 11 walks today and still clinging to a 1-run lead as Crichton hits it on the ground to second. Elam has it, throws to first, inning over. 1 pitch and England gets out of the jam, and Clemson leaves a pair more. Louisville leads by a run, and Tank Davis looking for history as he will lead off the bottom of the 8th. Louisville with a 1-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. There is Tank Davis, tied for the nation's lead in home runs, leading the nation in RBIs, the candidate for the Golden Spikes Award. He is currently tied for first all-time in a single season in Louisville history for home runs. Chris Dominguez, Randy Delph. The other two that have done it, Delph did that back in 1974, back in Oldham. Parkview Field, there you see the numbers. Apparently Parkview Field, where Randy Delph played, was a very hitter-friendly ballpark. In 91-92, Louisville led the nation at home runs. They called it the over-the-wall gang. That's the name of it.
That's a good one.
Talking to Sean Buff, a longtime radio voice of the Cardinals, about that today. Dion Brown is on. Big fan. This guy's got a really good curveball. Very good reliever for Clemson.
Yeah, good fastball, too. 92 to 96 miles an hour, but you talked about it, the curveball. That's going to be his pitch.
First pitch, he lands the breaking ball for a strike to Davis. It's 0-1. Davis 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts today. The 0-1. Takes a strike at the knees, and it's 0-2. Ooh, and Davis did not like that call. Louisville is led since Ben Slanker's 2-run homer in the 4th. And Davis sends it high in the air, deep to center field. Bell going back, and no one has homered more in a single season than Tank Davis in Louisville history. A new program record for Davis, his 26th of the season, and it's a 5-3 Louisville lead.
I mean, this kid's incredible. This is 110 miles an hour, gets the breaking ball, stays on it, knew it. Not only that, how about taking the bat all the way to first base before he released it?
That was some Pedro Serrano there.
I mean, congratulations to him. The all-time leader in home runs.
That is career homer number 44, and that puts him 20 off the pace of the all-time career record, and that's one of the men he just passed, the great Chris Dominguez, the first rounder in the Dan McDonnell era. Tank Davis, home run number 26 on the year to extend this lead for Louisville.
You got this. Let's go, kid.
And he did it on a 2-strike pitch. Gabby and Byram Hott got a hit. There was an 0-2 count.
It's an 0-2 count, gets the breaking ball, and it's like he knew it was coming. He knew it. Oh, you're going to throw me a breaking ball. It gets left up enough. That's just good hitting, too. Listen, that's not a cheapie either. That's straight away center field, 110 miles an hour off the bat.
418 feet. Jimmy Bellinger's going to come out to visit with Dion Brown. Dan McDonnell with a big hug for his slugger.
He's not only getting the hug because he hit the home run, he's getting the hug because he gave some insurance run right there to Louisville.
Dan McDonnell is going, man, we walked 11 today and we still got a chance to win this game. Jimmy Bellinger, the mound visit, and really going into Dion Brown there.
I think it's one of those things where the coach is coming. It's not that he's yelling at him, he's trying to fire him up. He's trying to tell him, let's go. We got to get this. We got to keep that runner there. We can't allow another one to come in. You've got this. Look, when you look at Dion Brown, you look at the stuff. It's electric. It's a good fastball. It's a good breaking ball.
Faces Jimmy Nugent here, who's 2 for 3 with a homer and a double today. A throw over to first, and Hott dives back. Iron Hott will run. He has 15 of 18 in stolen base attempts. 5-3 Louisville, last of the 8th, still nobody out. Another throw over and Hot dives back. This feels like a situation where Hot is almost certainly going.
Yeah. And what's crazy, too, is that you look at this Louisville team, and it's usually a team that just is consistently running.
Another throw over, and Hot just did get back. Hot's lead is so big, Gabby, that both feet are past the cutout.
I mean, he's going to be going. That thing is, too, the Deion Brown, he's got some quick feet over there to first base. But Louisville this year, 104 stolen bases in 122 attempts.
Not going on that pitch, and the first one missed inside. It's 1-0.
But we're used to seeing Louisville at the top of the ACC in stolen bases every single year, year in and year out.
We were talking to Eric Bakich about it today. He said Louisville puts so much pressure on you. He's like, the lineup is really good. He's like, it's not Georgia Tech, but close. He said, but the difference is that the speed that they have puts so much pressure on you to play fast defensively.
And that's where mistakes happen.
It's part of what makes Louisville really fun to watch offensively, too. To be honest, as a fan, Louisville's the kind of gateway team for if you're interested in getting into college baseball. They're the kind of team to watch because
it's a fun team.
Yeah, now this year's team's
Constantly
bullpen
moving.
may have frustrated you a little bit, but the offense is certainly worth watching. Check swing, Tapper to second. Clavon the shovel in time to get Hot. A nice play. I think Louisville's going to want to take a look at this. Hot didn't say anything. They're telling him to stay there. And Dan McDonald asking Linus Baker.
Yeah, I think you got to, though, in this situation here. And I don't think that Dan McDonald wanted to. He was trying to kind of look at Hot and say, hey, was
Louisville
it safe?
is challenging the out call at second base.
Were you safe? Were you not? Like, I need to make a challenge here. You need to let me know. It's hard to tell, though.
Boy, that's close.
Oh, man.
I mean, Clavon really didn't have another prayer. I think they got him by a bang, bang.
You know what it is? Even if, remember, too, the tie does not go to the runner. Right. So this is a situation where the call on the field is going to stand unless they see that that foot got in there before the play was made.
I mean, this is a center fielder playing second base. He knows it's his only play, but look at Lichtenberger barehand that coming across the bag. This is a sparkling defensive play by Clemson.
Oh, he's out.
He's out.
He is out.
He is clearly out. A great angle again. But, man, I mean, I thought that ball was hit
I thought there was no
awkwardly.
play
Yeah,
at
no
second,
play.
to be honest with you.
I
thought
didn't think there was going to be a play anywhere.
I thought at first there might have been a play. I didn't think that he was going to be going to second there, and Clavon just real quickly gets an in and out of his glove. But I think it was the heads-up play by Lichtenberger to barehand that ball to get it quicker, and that's what makes it an out.
I think that's one that's going to be confirmed is my guess. Linus Baker, the crew chief, looking at it underneath still. We'll see whether or not this one gets overturned. There's Linus. He's going to get the word from Matthew Schaefer.
After video review, the call at second base stands. The runner is out.
Stands, interesting.
Louisville has exhausted the second of two challenges.
I thought that it was pretty clear on that replay, but still, either way, the out is recorded. And just, I mean,
Let's go, Benny, let's go.
let's look at this play one more time. Watch Clavon. And
I think the reason why it stands is it was blurry, and you really couldn't tell where that foot was to where the hand. That right there tells me that he was out. It looked like the ball was in hand, but doesn't really matter. Either way, it's still going to be an out.
Eric Bakich is going to make a pitching change with one out in the 8th inning, and Ben Slanker coming up. He's got a lefty loose. Justin Legurnick appears to be tossing in the pen. Coming up after our game, Kylie Johnson and Clemson. They'll take on Duke. Jessica Oakland, who's been on fire for the Blue Devils. A couple of ranked ACC teams is going to be starting on the ESPN app, and then we will join right after that, about 30 seconds from now on the app. You can just stick with us.
Yeah.
We'll take you there at the end. We've got a pretty exciting finish coming here as LeGurnick enters the game. Deion Brown's day is done. This has been a very intense series with close games back and forth. Today, no exception. Clemson with a ton of opportunities. They've drawn 11 walks. They just have not cashed in the big hit. And Louisville has used the big ball to their advantage. 3 home runs today. Jimmy Nugent, a 2-run shot from Ben Slanker. And in this inning, Tag Davis became the single-season home run record holder for Louisville with his 26th of the year.
And there's still a lot of games left for him. We talked about it earlier. I'm not going to be surprised if all of a sudden he's adding about 8 or 9 more home runs. The way that he's been swinging the bat, the power to the baseball, he's cleaned up a lot of things in his swing in the offseason. Last year, if you threw it up in the zone, he would be able to hammer you for a home run, but anything down, you could get him to swing and miss. Well, he completely turned that around, where now he's able to cover a whole part of the plate, and he is just a dangerous hitter.
Philadelphia product out of Malvern Prep.
Congratulations, young man.
Same high school as Dad. Ben was the former #2 overall pick of and was coached at Malvern Prep by
The Runester.
Yeah, Coach Mike Rooney.
The professor.
Here on ESPN. Let's see, he's used the field very well this year. This is not just some big donkey that Yanks said. I mean, he's got the full power, but that ball that he hit to set the record was smashed to the biggest part of this park.
He has more home runs to center in the opposite field than a lot of guys have for the whole entire season.
Speaking of power, Ben Slanker was 4th in the nation at home runs a year ago. His 2-run homer back in the 4th gave Louisville the lead. They've since tacked on. They're up 5-3. Justin LeGurnick out of the Clemson pen to face Slanker. Runner goes, pitches the ball, throw by Jarrell is in time to get him. A perfect throw from Jacob Jarrell to gun down Nugent, 2 outs.
I like that, though, putting on the pressure, go ahead and take off. Jacob Jarrell, though, what a beautiful throw. Got it out of his hands quickly. That's a great jump by Nugent.
Go ahead.
One slap foul by Slanker. 0-2. Jarrell's made a couple of really strong throws in the last 2 days.
He's been really good behind the plate. The catch and throw, his release.
He was so quick to get to that ball. It was a good pitch to throw. It was up a little bit. The 0-2 to Slanker outside, count 1-2. Looking ahead to the Clemson 9th, they'll have Jason Foltz, Tyler Lichtenberger, and Bryce Clavon, 6, 7, and 8 in their order due against the lefty England. The 1-2. 2-2. As of right now, they'll be chasing a pair of runs. The pitch. Down low, and the count goes full to Slanker.
Win it, kid, win it. Win it, let's go.
2 outs, now nobody on. 5-3 Louisville in the 8th.
Way to battle back, man.
The payoff. Slanker takes ball 4 inside.
Way to work it, kid.
2-out walk, and that'll bring up Elam. Elam has absolutely smashed 3 baseballs today. And I think we may get a pinch runner for Slanker at first. We will. Kyle Campbell, who started in right field last night, is going to be the pinch runner at first. So good speed aboard. Elam doubled the other way his last trip.
Let's go, Kane!
McCurnick is going to have to be careful with Elam here. He is a dangerous hitter, especially in this spot. He lines it to short, and a nice play by Lichtenberger to stay with it, and the inning is over. Louisville will take a 2-run lead to the 9th, thanks to that man, Tank Davis. No one has homered more in a single season for Louisville than this man. Davis is 26th of the year, and Louisville 3 outs from a sweep.
Record with his 26th on the year. Make some noise for Tank Davis.
A great moment here before the 9th inning starts. Tank Davis honored for setting the single season home run record, taking the field by himself, and then look at this. This is really cool. Lucas Moore leading the Stars and all of his teammates coming out to congratulate him. Louisville fans looking for the first series sweep for Louisville in an ACC series since last year against Boston College, as they look to pull within a game of 500 in the league. Aaron England facing Jason Fultz with a 2-run lead in the 9th. First pitch, a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Now Louisville, for all of their bullpen struggles, Gabby, they are 16-1 in games that they've led going to the 9th inning. That one was 2 weeks ago today against Stanford when J.J. Moran hit a 3-run homer here to beat them.
I will tell you this. Clemson has had a bunch of chances today. I believe they've left 14 guys on base in today's ballgame. They were 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. This game ain't over yet.
And they're going to get the tying run to the plate as Jason Fultz leads off with a single here in the 9th.
It just seems that that's the style of baseball for Clemson. Back against the wall. Got to do everything you can to try to just tie this ball game up, if not try to take the lead. They've had chances all day. They've been hitting the ball. They've been getting on base. At some point, that dam's got to break. So right now, if you're Louisville, it's just about, hey, throw strikes. If they get on by hitting, fine, but there can't be any free passes.
Lichtenberger, the tying run, has just 1 homer this year. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. We saw earlier, England has struggled throwing strikes to left-handers. Foltz the lead, the pitch. A strike at the knees and the count 0-2. Aaron England was perfect last night in the 9th inning, striking out the side. Trying to save this one. The 0-2 instead of throw to first, the runner back. He's entering today. Aaron England in ACC play has walked 7 lefties with no strikeouts. He's ahead 0-2 here.
He's ahead 0-2. See if he can change that up and get his first.
Lichtenberger able to stay alive.
One more time, kid, let's go!
Foltz the runner at first. England gets the signal from the dugout and he's set. The 0-2 in the dirt.
Wait a minute, Georgie! Let's go, Aaron!
Couldn't get Lichtenberger to chase in the count 1-2. As Gabby mentioned, Clemson has had a ton of chances. They have had a base runner, at least one in every inning. Another toss to first. Foltz is back. Is Foltz going to be running in this spot?
I don't think he's going to be running here. I mean, I get the let's keep him close, but a lot of times when you start paying attention to that runner, you stop paying attention to the hitter, and all of a sudden you start doing that, where you start pulling balls, you're trying to be too perfect.
2-2 the count.
England against lefties, he will get a lot of ground balls, especially with that slider. He's just pulling that slider a little bit too much right now.
In the dirt, and he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. He's probably aware that he has had trouble with lefties and getting the strikeout, and I wonder if that's part of what he's doing there.
Right, and I think that's the problem, right? He's trying to get the strikeout rather than just throwing the pitch, executing the pitch.
The 3-2. Fouled away off to the left and out of play. Two again, upstairs, ball 4. Another walk to a left-handed hitter, and Clemson has the tying runs aboard with nobody out for Bryce Clavon.
Well, Clavon was in a situation just like this in yesterday's ball game. They asked him to bunt, he couldn't get it down. I wonder in this situation if they're going to be asking him to go ahead and bunt to see if they can get the tying run into scoring position. My guess would be yes. Now, when you're on the road, they say you don't want to play for the tie. But if you're Clemson right now, you know that you've had trouble with getting that big hit. You're at the bottom of your lineup. If I had to guess, I would probably think that Talon Bell is going to get pinched to hit for because you do have the lefty on the mound.
There is action in the Louisville pen. The right-hander Eli Hoyt. He's made just 4 appearances this year. Getting loose in the pen. Junior college transfer out of Madison College, Wisconsin. Pinch runner at second. It'll be Briggs Sullivan, who started last night's game in right field, his first collegiate start. So 2 on, nobody out. Tying runs aboard for Bryce Clavon, the number 8 hitter. pinched in at the corners. They are expecting Clavon to lay down a bunt. England's first pitch, Clavon bunts. He bunts it hard to third, but the only play for Hott will be to first in time to get him. That time he executed the sacrifice perfectly. It goes 5-4, and the runners move into scoring position.
That was beautifully done. That's exactly what you want to do if you're Clavon. You want to bunt that ball to third base. You want that third baseman Hott to vacate the area, have to come get it and get the out at first. All of a sudden, now Clemson, and we've been saying it all game long, they haven't been able to come up with the big hit. They have second and third. They need that big hit.
Jay Dillard is going to come off the bench to pinch hit, the graduate student who has played more this year than he ever has in his career. Graduated from 3 years from Clemson. And now all they need is a single as he hits for Talon Bell. Dillard was in the original starting lineup and was a late scratch. Clavon put it in his place.
I think defensively, if you're Louisville right now, you're going to play middle back. I would actually be playing everybody back. I'm not going to be trying to get the out at home. It's just about getting the out when you have a 5-3 lead.
I almost wonder if some of it, though, is if Davis playing in with the lefty on the mound, swing and a miss, throwing one. Dillard's a bat handler, right? See a push butt as a possibility. So everybody else looks like they're backed up a little.
Yeah, I mean, for Davis, too, he's trying to get as far off the base. So as the further that you get away from first, the closer that you're going to have to play to that first base bag.
A strike in the count 0-2. And barring something unforeseen here, Nate Savoy is going to hit again for Clemson. He is in the on-deck circle, second on the team in home runs. The pitch, bouncer foul.
I don't see them pitching to Savoy at all. And
You're going to put the go-ahead run on.
You put the go-ahead runner on. You got Tristan McClatty, a lefty. You do the lefty-lefty matchup. You're not letting Nate Savoy beat you.
But England has been so much better against righties than lefties.
I'm not having him face Nate Savoy.
The 0-2. Yeah! Outside, 1-2.
This is a good fastball. Just looks like it's a little bit off, but boy, that is close. That's a good take.
Baker did his best to stick it. Tying runs in scoring position with one out. Swing and a miss. Dillard down on strikes, 2 outs. And now Louisville 1 out away from the sweep. And here comes Savoy, and we'll see if Gabby's right and that Dan McDonald will intentionally walk Savoy.
Doesn't look like he's going to.
They're going to play it straight up.
They're going to go ahead and say, go get him.
Do not put the go-ahead run on base, so the tying runs aboard with 2 outs. And Savoy bats the first pitch. He takes down low. It's 1-0. A single, a walk, a sacrifice fly today. 2 home runs in this series. 15 on the year. Outfield very deep. The pitch. Upstairs, 2-0.
Now there is the unintentional intentional walk where they're not going to throw him anything good. The only thing that I have with that is that a lot of times these pitchers might dirt a ball, the ball gets behind. Yeah, there you go. They're just going to go ahead and send them.
They didn't get Savoy to chase outside the zone, so they will load the bases, and it will be up to Tristan McClatty. Eric Bakich giving some words of encouragement to McClatty. It has been a trying season for the super utility man. McClatty, who has battled injuries, who has had to play around a bunch of different positions. He has had some big moments for this Clemson team. He is hitless today. Clemson's already left 14. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 9th. And Eric Bakich has one more offensive timeout left. He's going to bring in Jaron Purify to pinch run. And Purify doesn't have his sliding mitts on, it doesn't look like.
It doesn't matter. He'll borrow Savoy's.
But he's going to build one over the broken fingers on his right hand. They are healed, but he is not quite ready. Played last night, struggled, was not available to start today. So excellent speed at first. If McClatty splits a gap, it will give Clemson the lead. First pitch, a breaking ball strike. It's 0-1. No doubles defense in the outfield. They are extremely deep, and keep that in mind. Purify is going to get basically a free run from first.
Well, I've seen Rose playing deep the whole entire game. They're trying to play the ball up.
Liner back through the middle. It's a base hit. It'll tie the game. Tristan McClatty delivers with 2 outs in the ninth, and we're even at 5. A huge smile from McClatty as finally Clemson cashes in a big opportunity.
Well, we've talked about it all game. They've had a bunch of people on consistently throughout this whole entire game. They haven't been able to come up with a big hit. It took till the ninth. Tristan McClatty, huge base hit with 2 outs to score 2 and tie this ball game up.
And now the go-ahead run is in scoring position, as England's going to try and keep Purify from getting too big a lead from second. Gaffney has been on base 5 times today. 3 via the walk, 2 singles. Tristan McClatty was 0 for 5, and he delivers a game-tying 2-out base hit. Foul back. Ooh, he had a good pass at that high heater. It's 0-1. Clemson has been scratching and clawing all day. They have had a ton of opportunities. They finally get even in this game again. That one misses to the count 1-1. They have left 14 runners to this point. Runners get their lead from first and second. The set, the 1-1. That one off the glove of Baker, and the runners will move up. A passed ball on George Baker puts the go-ahead run at 90 feet away.
Now it starts to get a little bit dangerous too, because now you have to think about that slider, about dirting that slider, about getting it down. You're really having a lot of trust in Baker to keep that ball in front of him, because the winning run right now is 90 feet away.
Purify down the line at third. The pitch in the dirt, and that was stopped by Baker. The count 3-1. A dangerous pitch coming up to Gaffney, but Jacob Jarrell, who leads the team in home runs, is on deck.
If you're Gaffney, you're looking for that fastball.
England set. The 3-1. Lands a breaking ball for a strike, and the count is full.
You have a base open there, so I guess the thought process was, if it's a ball, oh, so be it. You're going to go ahead and load the bases. Problem is that Jacob Jarrell is hitting behind him, and there's a lot of pop in that bat.
3-2 the count, 2 outs. The pitch in the air to center. Moore going back. He's got room, and he'll make the catch shy of the track, and the inning is over. But Clemson ties the game on the 2-run, 2-out single from Tristan McClatty.
McClatty, lefty, line drive right back up the box to tie this game up on the top of the ninth.
Tristan McClatty ties the game with a 2-out RBI single in the ninth. He's now moved to center field as there's big defensive changes for Clemson. McClatty in center. Briggs Sullivan stays in the game in right. Ty Dillard stays in at third. And a pinch hitter, Griffin Crane, is going to pinch hit for George Baker to start the ninth. Crane, redshirted last year with a shoulder injury, has been in the leadoff spot for a good chunk of the year for Louisville. Out of the lineup the last couple of days because of a shin injury that he suffered in practice. He was unavailable Friday, was possible last night, and available off the bench today. So they will go to Crane. It'll be Crane, Alicea, and Moore scheduled against LeGurnick. 5-5 game, bottom 9. We have had just both of these games that we've done here, all three of the series have been terrific. Both teams fighting for their postseason lives coming in. Clemson's dropped the first two. They are in last place in the ACC. Louisville needs quality wins, and Clemson has a good RPI. So Louisville trying to work their way back into the at-large discussion. And Griffin Crane floats that one to towards center. And what a play by Clavon to steal a base hit for the first out. Boy, was that impressive.
I'll tell you what, Clavon had to go a long way, too, because he was playing pool, he was playing back. Look at where this ball ends up and how far he had to go to get it. Very nice play by Clavon.
One out for Alex Alicea. Switch hitter batting right-handed for the first time today. The pitch. Squares the bunt, takes a strike. 0-1. Alicea with a base hit. Checks and did not go. Count 1-1. Louisville would love to get traffic on ahead of Moore and then Rose. They would like to get Zion Rose to the plate in the ninth. Alicea to shallow right. Clavon fighting the sun, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Center field instincts took over there for Clavon.
Yeah, it did. If you got a fly ball out there, that's the guy that you want to go get it. He's been catching a whole ton this year. Does a really nice job of getting back there and making the play. And you're right now for Louisville, it's about trying to get at least Rose up. That means that Moore would have to get on.
2 outs for Moore. Takes the first pitch outside. It's 1-0. Lucas Moore today, 0 for 3 with a walk. A strike on the outside corner, the count 1-1. Clemson's pitching has held Louisville to just 6 hits today, but 3 homers have helped the offense for the Cardinals. And that one slapped past the diving Dillard down the left field line, a base hit. Moore around first. He's going to slam on the brakes. An excellent play by Jack Crichton to get to it and to fire the ball back into second to keep Moore at first.
I mean, a really good job by Crichton to be able to get around that ball as quickly as he did and get that ball in, because we know that Lucas Moore can absolutely fly. Lets this ball get deep, hits it the opposite way. It looks like it's going to be a double right away as soon as that ball leaves the infield. But great job by Crichton. Lucas Moore having to put the brakes on and get himself back over to first.
Moore with 99 career steals. He is one of the best base stealers in the country. 29 of 33 this year. Not going. Moore watches as Rose takes a strike. It's 0-1. Zion Rose hitless today. Knocked it a run with a hit by pitch, and the base is loaded in the third. Winning run at first with 2 outs. Runner goes. The pitch is a ball, and Jarrell will have no chance to throw him out. And that's career stolen base number 100 for Lucas Moore.
I'll tell you what, partner. You knew he was going to go at some point. You knew he was going to be taken off. Congratulations to him. 100 career stolen bases.
And now the hit collector's in a position where a single will win it. The outfield has come in. They're very shallow. Moore gets the lead from second. The pitch. A strike on a breaking ball. And Rose not happy. It's 1-2. You think he wanted that one?
No, I think he thought it was maybe 2 down.
His reaction, he kind of pounded the barrel, made me think that maybe it was the pitch he was looking for. He just couldn't pull the trigger. The 1-2. Rose fouls it away. That was a vicious cut there. Zion Rose struck out in the first inning for just the 9th time this season in 100 plate appearances, or just around 100 plate appearances. Winning run in scoring position with 2 outs in the 9th. Lagurnik's pitch. Rose bounces it to short. Gobbled up by Lichtenberger. Throws to first, and we head to extra innings. To the 10th we go. Clemson and Louisville tied at 5. Tenth inning, tied at 5. You see Tank Davis, whose home run in the 8th inning gave Louisville a 2-run lead. For Clemson rallied on Tristan McClatty's 2-out RBI single in the 9th. And has pushed this finale to extra innings. Louisville's first extra inning game of the year, the 3rd for Clemson. There's McClatty, the hero right now. Are those pickles he's eating?
Let's go, Eli.
Yeah. It is pickles. That's an interesting snack. I guess
Well, it's good,
it is
the
good
salt,
for salt.
yeah.
Yeah. For cramping.
Yeah. It's very big now to buy pickles.
It is.
You see them in airports all the time.
Is he drinking the juice too? Bag juice pickle. Oof.
Peanut butter and pickle sandwich is good, by the way. Eli Hoyt, the Milwaukee area native from Waukesha, takes over.
And for Eli Hoyt, it's a good fastball, cutter, slider. Does have a curveball as well. 90 to 92 with that fastball. The biggest thing for him, base on balls, has been an issue, which we've talked about a whole bunch with this Louisville bullpen. Walking guys has been the point of emphasis of, hey, you got to throw that ball over. 6 walks and 3 2/3 innings.
His last appearance came on April 14th against Western Kentucky. He has only made 1 appearance in conference play, and that was against Pitt, where he walked 2, punched out a batter, and threw a wild pitch at 2/3 of an inning back at the end of March. Junior college transfer's first pitch. This is low to Jacob Gerald, the leading home run hitter for Clemson, starts the 10th. It's 1-0. It'll be Gerald, Jack Crichton, and then it'll be Fultz's spot in the lineup as that one misses. It's 2-0.
Is that Sullivan?
No, Sullivan ran for someone
Fultz.
else. Did he run for Fultz?
Yeah.
Oh, you wrote it down right. Never mind. It was Sullivan. Gerald lines a foul off to the left. Why do I ever doubt you?
I wrote it.
Keep coming, 7, Eli, let's go!
5 in the 10th. Two 2-1 foul back in the count 2-2. Here are the records in extra innings this year. Louisville's first game. Clemson lost to Miami in their Friday game there and then lost a 14-inning marathon with North Carolina. The middle game of that series. Gerald fouls it down the line and out of play. Clemson needs a win. Their postseason hopes of an at-large bid are pretty slim at this point, but if they were to win out in conference play, they'd probably have something to say with the committee. But with 14 losses now, they can ill afford another one. Gerald swings and skies that one deep and foul. Now, do you think he was trying to hit that one?
He was trying to hit our
across
car.
the Indiana?
Yeah, he was trying to hit our car in the parking lot with that swing.
Good job, Eli. Keep coming.
He's not gotten cheated on any of his swings of this at bat as Gerald. Three-two. Upstairs, ball 4, and the go-ahead runs aboard. Here's what Clemson still has coming up. They've drawn 14 walks today. Here's the rest of their schedule. That is the latest RPIs for all of those teams. They have a very difficult schedule. They will probably be fine RPI-wise. The big issue is their conference record. It's 6-14 right now. So they need a lot of wins. Jack Crichton bats, tossed to first, the runner back. Eric Baggett just said, we haven't lost a game all season where we have played well. They've played pretty well today. They've not been able to cash in all of their opportunities. I mean, they've drawn a ton of walks upstairs. And the first offering, it's 1-0. The 14 walks for Louisville ties the most that they've had in a game this season. Bunt attempt by Crichton. Nugent racing back. Did he have a play? He could not get there.
Good try.
Nugent had to get into a slide to try and make that catch.
He got back there quickly. This bunt, you can see the barrel drop. It goes straight back in the air. Nugent's trying to do everything he can to make that play. Really good hustle.
Creeping in at third is Hot. Crichton bunts. That's a really good bunt. Nugent bare hands, and it will throw him out. And now the go-ahead run in scoring position with one out. So a sacrifice puts the man in scoring position, and we are going to get a pinch hitter here for Sullivan. This is Jackson Moore. Moore had a little bit of a run in right field earlier this season. He got on a bit of a heater. You see the numbers down to 244 now. He's from the same hometown as former Clemson star Cam Canarella. A freshman waits to the first pitch, a breaking ball inside. It's 1-0. Gerald gets the lead from second. Set. The 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. The delivery. Foul back. Boy, that was a good cut by Moore. Got a pitch to hit.
Got a pitch to hit. Just a tick late on that one, a tick underneath. It's not easy to come off the bench, not playing in a while, and then come into a ball game. And look, right now they're basically asking you to have a big hit here with a runner in scoring position.
The 2-1 in the air to left. Going back on it is Rose. Zion Rose backpedaling, makes the catch for out number 2. Tagging and heading to third is Gerald. That throw nearly got to Hott right at the same time Gerald did for out number 2. Ooh, boy, that was close.
I mean, Rose has an absolute cannon in left. We saw it yesterday. Here it is. He's backpedaling, has to come in quick. This throw's just a little bit off, but if it wasn't,
oh man,
he is out at third.
I mean, that's a risky run anyway with 2 outs. Generally, right, you're going halfway. I get in college, you might want that extra 90 feet because you feel like catcher defense might not be the same as in pro ball, but those 90 feet probably aren't all that important. You're going to need most likely a base hit to score a run, right?
I mean, an error, you can score a run as well. I mean, there's different things, but still, that's a very risky play because the ball's right there in front of you. The only thing that helped him out is that he was still backpedaling when he was making that catch.
Lichtenberger swings and misses, and the count 1-1. Lichtenberger a single and 3 walks. This is his 6th trip to the plate. Go ahead run at third with 2 outs of the 10th. The pitch. Down and in, 2-1. Looking ahead to the Louisville 10th, they will have the nation's home run leader, Tage Davis, leading off. Two-1. On the ground to second. Elam has it. Throws to first. Inning over. Clemson leaves another. The go-ahead run at third, and Tage Davis will lead things off for Clemson in this 5-5 game as we go to the bottom of the 10th. Five game as we head to the bottom of the 10th inning. Tristan McClatty's 2-out single in the 9th tied it. Justin Legurnick getting ready to face Tage Davis, the nation's home run leader. It is 26th of the year, his last trip, the most ever in a single season in Louisville history. The sophomore will face the talented Legurnick. And last year at Clemson, in the 12th inning of a Sunday game, Davis hit a go-ahead 2-run home run off Legurnick.
Guys, don't forget those kind of things. Legurnick knows exactly what happened in that game. He knows that Davis hit that home run against him. He also knows that Davis has already hit a home run in today's ball game that actually now he is the all-time leader in home runs for Louisville. This is going to be the at-bat where you have to be very careful if you're Legurnick.
Jackson Moore, who pinch hit in the last inning, stays in right field for Clemson. Big overshift on for Davis. Left on left matchup. First pitch. Inside with a breaking ball, 1-0. It'll be Davis, Byram Hott, and Jimmy Nugent, the scheduled hitters.
Watch yourself up there, Tate.
The 1-0. Inside into the screen, 2-0. Burdick firing that one at 96.
Yeah, here you really have to be careful.
2-0. Takes a strike. 2-1.
That's kind of where they're trying to attack him. It's down and away. That's that only one little spot that Tate Davis hasn't been able to really connect.
Bounced into the shift. Clavon in shallow right will throw out Davis for the first out of the 10th.
All right, Byron, let's go.
That got him to chase a elevated heater off the plate. Nice job there by Legurnik, understanding the situation, understanding, hey, I'll give him a fastball. It's just not going to be one that he's going to be able to do a lot of damage with.
Here's Byram Hott.
Get him early. Get
Hott
him
today 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. First pitch. Foul back.
Go ahead.
Hott's had a very good season,
Ahead again. Let's go, Byron.
taking over as the everyday third baseman for Louisville. Inside, it's 1-1. Burdick's a former starter. They're going to go with him as long as they possibly can. Boy, good breaking ball there. It's 1-2.
Backdoor breaker. Really nice pitch by Legurnik. Tell you what, Legurnik has done a really nice job since coming into this ball game.
Outside, 2-2.
Let's go, Byron.
He's got that slider working, that fastball, boy. There's some good juice on that. We've seen 95s, 96s with that fastball. Working that slider in as well.
Missed that time, and the count goes full. He has looked much more confident this season than he did a year ago.
Byron, win it here. Let's go.
That's going to need to adjust some equipment as his elbow guard fell off.
Jimmy's got your back, Byron. Get it going. Let's go, kid. First of many. Let's go.
Now Hott's ready for the 3-2.
Go ahead.
Towards the middle and past the diving Lichtenberger into left center field. A long run for McClatty to get there, and Hott will shut it down after a big turn at first. McClatty really had to hustle to get over to that one.
I mean, where they're playing them basically in the outfield to hit the ball to right center field. That ball hit right back up the box. They had to go a long way to get it. I think Byram Hott saw that too. He's off and running. But great job there by McClatty to get that ball, get it in quickly.
Hott with 13 stolen bases is at first. Jimmy Nugent, a homer and a double today. 2 for 4. Winning run aboard here in the 10th. Nugent DH most of the day, took over behind the plate in the 10th inning. First pitch. Swing and a drive. Deep left field. If it's fair, it's over. It is gone. Jimmy Nugent ends the game with a 2-run homer. Clemson will ask for a review, but his second of the day, as it stands now, has won it for Louisville.
We have a crew chief review of this boundary call.
So it's a crew chief review. This is a crew chief review because it's a home run, a boundary call.
Right, and I don't even think Clemson has any
Clemson
reviews
has one.
left.
Louisville's out tonight.
Louisville's out.
Louisville's
Clemson
out of
has
challenges.
one.
Yesterday, Clemson was in a situation late in the game where
That's
they
right.
could have challenged something and they were out. But this is absolutely the right call to do.
They should do it. I mean, this ball is close down that left field line. It was absolutely obliterated, too. That was 110 miles an hour off the bat
There was
of Jimmy Nugent. It would be his second of the day if this call stays. But the hard part is going to be what kind of angle you have to see that it's not a home run. This ball is hit so far. I mean, there's just nothing to see where it's going around the pole.
Jose Matamoros, our third base umpire. You can watch him.
He's staying right there. He has the knee there. Remember, it's where it passes the pole. It is not where it lands. So it could pass the pole in fair territory. That's going to be a home run. It doesn't matter if it lands in foul territory.
Well, the Clemson bullpen right away thought it was foul. They are getting another look at it down below. We are waiting to hear from the umpiring crew. As it stands right now, Louisville has swept this series. Here comes Linus Baker. Our crew chief will let us know.
This call, after video review, this call will stand as ruled. Home run.
Jimmy Nugent, mobbed by his teammates with his second home run of the day, ends it. And Louisville gets their first series sweep of the year in conference play. The final today, they beat Clemson 7-5. Let's take a look at the game winner from Nugent.
I've been telling you, I like Jimmy Nugent. He has been absolutely hammering the baseball. Does it again. His second home run of the game. This one is huge. The walk-off two-run homer to give Louisville the win and the series sweep.
Nugent hugging with Tate Davis, who set the single-season record today for home runs in Louisville history. What a ball game, what a series this was, as Louisville sweeps Clemson today with a 7-5 victory. Well, that'll do it for us, or Jim Patterson Stadium, for Gabby Sanchez and this incredible crew we have here in Louisville. I'm Mike Barron saying thank you for joining us. Louisville sweeps Clemson 7-5. We send you to Durham for ACC softball between Duke and Clemson. Chucky Kemp and Jenny Dalton Hill take it away.